You can give her any kind of an assignment, and she comes out smelling like a rose. I think her daddy can take a couple lessons from her now.
He told my joke. Lots of laughs with Milton Berle, Dick Van Patten, and Ann Jackson on the next Mike Douglas Show.
Here's to you.
Here's a team who earned a Willie Stargell star last night. Jim Bibby turned in a gutsy starting performance, and reliever Kent Ticovey recorded a save with the bases loaded in the ninth to preserve the 4-3 victory. Tonight, it's Bruce Keeson's turn to shine as the Pirates and Astros collide. KDKA TV2 presents Pirate Baseball 79. Tonight from the Houston Astrodome, the Bucks meet the Houston Astros. Pirate Baseball 79 is brought to you in part by Light Beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And in part by Mellon Bank. You get a good feeling for saving at Mellon Bank. Messages promoting attendance at Pirate games are paid for by the Pittsburgh Athletic Company. Hello again, everybody. This is Milo Hamilton along with Harry the Hat Walker, and tonight we go to Game 2 in a 3-game series. It'll be James Rodney Richard. It's one of those peculiarities. Here's a guy who's been quite a pitcher over the years, but the Bucks have had good success with him. Bruce Keeson, on the other hand, has not done well in this arena. He'd like to get back on the right track here. He's really pitched much better than his 4-4 record. Richard, who you figure would be the bell cow of the staff, is 7-8. But those are one of the things about pitchers you can never figure, Hat. You think, hey, here's a guy who's going to have that big year. He's had 2 great years behind him. And clubs like the Pirates, well, they kind of do well against a hard-throwing right-hander like James Rodney.
Well, they've got a good one because James Rodney can really fire the ball. He's got one of the best sliders in the game with it. He throws such a hard slider. The big thing that hurts him, I think, at the time is position of the ball and getting in trouble with wild pitches or walking men. But if he's sharp, he can be as tough as any pitcher in the league.
I'll tell you another thing about him, too. If you don't get him early, you usually pay for it because then he gets tough later.
Once he gets in a groove, he settles down. I saw the game where he pitched against Sievers. In the early part of the game, they hit the home run. Foster, he made one bad pitch. Foster hit it out. After that, as you say, they just didn't touch him. But he's got an outstanding fastball and one of the best sliders in baseball. Control-wise, not what it ought to be, and that could hurt him.
All right, we're going to take a look at the lineups that go with Keeson and James Rodney Richard, 2 right-handers, right after we pause for this message.
You know, trying to run a Major League Baseball club isn't all fun and games.
The pressure's always on. And for guys like us, there's no off-season.
So when you wheel and deal as much as we do, you can't afford to get filled up.
Take a look at the lineups. First of all, they've got a ceremony where they line up a cannon and they fire at the Pirate logo in the center field scoreboard, and when it goes off, well, they shatter the old Pirate logo. But it didn't happen last night. The Bucks shattered the Astros and sent them to their 4th straight loss, the first time they've lost 4 games this year. Let's take a look at the starting lineups, first of all, for the visiting Pittsburgh Pirates. And here's the big guy they're going to be looking at, James Rodney Richard, 7-8. Omar Moreno leads it off and plays center field. Tim Foley is the shortstop, batting second. Dave Parker will be in right field, batting third. Willie Stargell is the cleanup batter, playing first base. John Milner plays left tonight and bats fifth. Bill Madlock will be at third, and he'll hit sixth. Ed Ott will do the catching and bat seventh. Rennie Stennett is the second baseman, batting eighth. And Bruce Keeson with a record of 4-4. He's 5-5 lifetime against the Astros. He's 1-0 in 2 appearances this year against Houston. Now for the homestanding Houston Astros, and they'll be looking, of course, at Buster. And here's his style as you look at the Houston lineup. Terry Poole will lead it off and play center. Craig Reynolds is able to get back in there tonight and play shortstop and bat second. Cesar Cedeno, first base, hitting third. Jose Cruz is their cleanup batter, and he plays left field. Enos Cabell at third, batting fifth. Denny Wallings in right field, he'll hit sixth. Art Howe is the Houston third baseman, batting seventh. Alan Ashby will do their catching and bat eighth. And on the mound, James Rodney Richard, record of 7-8. And he is 3-7 lifetime against us. He has no record in one start against the Bucks in 1979. Well, I see the umpires' gear got here. They look a little more proficient with their regular uniforms on, and they're breaking away as you see them going to their spots. The Dodgers lost today. The New York Mets put them down 4-3 at Shea. That puts the Dodgers 17 under 500. And what would you have bet on that a month ago, Harry Walker?
Boy, you could have got rich on that deal, couldn't you?
Boy, oh boy. It just shows you how much pitching means to you. And when you lose a Tommy John and a Forster and a Doug Rao, there's no way to replace 1, 2, or 3 of them. And as a result, boy, they just trot out a staff that doesn't do the job, and you see what's happened. They're in the basement in the National League West. The umpires are in place. Sue Laws, the lovely singing voice of the Houston Astros, is in her beautiful gold gown this evening. She came to Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago, Harry, and sang the national anthem, and she is a very attractive young lady. All right, Sue Laws is in place. The crowd is up, and from the Houston Astrodome, let's join her and listen to our national anthem. Sue Laws. She'll be back in the 7th inning. Wouldn't miss it. All right, we're waiting for the introduction of the Houston Astros, then we'll be placing them on the field. Let's look at the rest of the scores then. The Cubs are in Atlanta tonight, 2-2 in the 3rd. The Padres had the Phillies down 4-1 in the 3rd, but last night they had a lead and couldn't hold it. St. Louis and Cincy scoreless in the 3rd inning at Riverfront. The Giants and Montreal scoreless in the 4th. So that's the way it looks in the National League as you see it. Let's slip over to the American League and see what's going on over there. There is some action. Kansas City and Cleveland, 1-0 Indians the 4th. Minnesota's Detroit, no score 2nd. Texas and the White Sox should be ready to go. Boston at California later. Baltimore beat Oakland 3-1 at Oakland this afternoon. They've got rain problems at Toronto in the 2nd inning, no score in that game. So you're up to date with the big league board, and we're ready to take you around on the Houston defense. And you start at first base with Cesar Cedeno, number 28. Number 18, Art Howe, playing second. The shortstop back in there tonight for them, number 12, Craig Reynolds. He was out with a hamstring last night. Third baseman, Enos Cabell, number 23. Jose Cruz in left, number 25. Terry Poole, 21, plays center for Billy Burton. And Denny Walling, 29, in right field. Now we go to the battery. Back of the plate tonight, Alan Ashby, number 14. And out on the mound, James Rodney Richard, coming into this ball game. He's making his 21st appearance, all in starting roles. 7 wins, 8 losses, a 3.40 ERA, 144 strikeouts. He has thrown 8 home run balls in 143 innings. Oh, there's a look at him. He's big enough to go to work, this guy. And I'll tell you something, that 60 feet 6 inches gets kind of short when he lets it fly. We've got Omar Moreno ready to lead it off, then followed by Foley and Parker. You know, injuries, we've got a flock of them. We've got at least 10, as a matter of fact. And I'm going to tell you how bad a couple of them are, and then you judge for yourself as to just how bad it is. Tim Foley's hamstring and the knot in his back of his left leg is so bad that he absolutely should not be playing. But with Garner's inability to swing the bat because of that puffed up left thumb, let me just show you what we would do here tonight. If we got a lead for Keeson, Foley's leg is so bad that we would put Garner in, knowing that he couldn't swing the bat the rest of the game, just to get Foley out of here and out of this park and back to the hotel, just to get him off his feet. Boy, that says something for some of these guys, doesn't it? They got it out. Oh, that's what you like. A manager likes those kind of guys. I know you did, Harry.
Yeah, it makes it great.
All right, here is Omar Moreno. Last night 2 for 4, and he drove in a run. Moreno comes in batting .299, and the first pitch of this game is a ball, and we are underway. Moreno hitting .423 against Houston pitching this year. He's 11 for 26 against them with 6 RBIs. A high chop. Yeah, you can't beat that. Harry Walker's eyes just lit up like 2 candles.
Well, this is one of the things that makes this guy tough. If he hits the ball on the ground, there's so many things can happen in his favor. Big hop, ball in the hole, beat it out, or get the ball by the guy.
Yeah, and he starts it off with a hit here. Now let's see if we test him and try to get something going. Manufacture something. Foley is a good handler of the bat. Maybe you put the hit and run on. Run and hit, whichever you like it.
Well, if he could get the good jump, you don't waste the hit and run. But, of course, a lot of times the hitter can fake, get the bat out like he's going to bunt, interfere just a little bit. That's exactly what Wills got that was so great out of Gilliam. He would fake the bunt, interfere with the catcher just enough legally to slow him down throwing.
All right. Moreno with 33 thefts, remember. Throw over, but it's not close. And Richard is similar to the fellow we talked about for us last night, Bibby Hat. Got that big, long torso, and he's going to be in that long stretch. A guy can get a jump on him.
He's got a quick move to first base, but delivering the ball, as you say, he's kind of slow releasing the ball.
Foley,
he's gone.
Runner going. The throw down's going to be out. Ashby, got to give him credit. He got rid of that ball in real good shape.
Certainly did. He released that ball so fast and made a perfect throw out of it.
Here it is. There's the jump. Now let's see where the ball is thrown, just to show you how the infielder is able to handle it. He's going to hit for the belly flopper. Shortstop covering, and just put the glove down, let him tag himself out. So it's a caught stealing. And a strike call to Foley. Tim coming into the ball game hitting .283, 29 runs batted in. Parker will be next, first inning. Fly ball left center. Poole's play to make. Hey, Cruz almost ran into him.
That's a play you'd like to see the center fielder be the guy to take charge. The other men must honor him. When he moves in position, starts waving his arms or hollering, usually the right or left fielder will let him take the ball.
Well, and playing halfway into the season and playing together as much as they have this year, that kind of a play shouldn't happen between those two guys at this time.
It sure shouldn't. The guy should go around behind the center field, more or less back him up.
All right, here's Parker batting .297. Leads us in RBIs 52, has 15 homers. Last night 1 for 4, drove in a couple of runs. Nobody on, 2 away, first inning. Right at the shortstop. Hot line drive right at him. So it's no runs, 1 hit, a caught stealing, no errors, and nobody left. We played a half an inning. The Bucks are scoreless with 1 hit. The Astros are just now coming into bat.
What kind of...
As Bruce Keeson warms up, we're going to look at the Bucks behind him. You start at first base with Captain Willie Stargell, number 8. Second baseman, number 6, Rennie Stennett. Pirate shortstop tonight, number 10, Tim Foley. At third base, you've got Bill Matlock, number 5. In the outfield, that's number 34, John Milner in left. Center fielder, 18, Omar Moreno. And over in right, 39, the Cobra himself, David Parker. Our catcher tonight is Ed Ott, number 14. And out on the mound, Bruce Keeson. His record is 4-4. It's his 19th appearance. It's his 11th start. With his 4-4 record, he has an ERA of 3.35. 78 innings pitched. Struck out 68, walked 20. Boy, that's a good ratio. Thrown 7 home run balls. Now, we talked with Ed Ott. Ask him what Buster has to do against the Astros since he's never beaten them in the Astrodome.
I think what he has to do is block that theory out of his mind that he can't win in the Astrodome. And I think if Bruce, the way he's throwing lately, if he can control his breaking ball the way he did in Cincinnati, the game he threw there, and the last couple games he's thrown, he can definitely win here. So all he has to do is concentrate on the hitters and his location of his breaking ball and fastball, and I definitely think he can win in this ballpark.
Buster Keeson's battery mate Ed Ott talking about him. And the first pitch to Poole is a ball. Poole last night was 2 for 3. He's batting .284. He's tied with Cruz to lead their club in hitting at .284. He leads them in hits with 97. Foul down the left side. Bruce Keeson has done something now in his last 2 or 3 starts that he thinks has really helped him. He's got that fingernail problem, you know, that has been a bugaboo with him for several years. He thinks now by throwing more off-speed pitches and not throwing hard all the time has helped him do a better job. Took a little something off of that one. 2 balls and a strike on Poole. Keeson working in this second game. Bibby won it last night with a save by Tekulve. Bounced foul down the right side. This is a pitcher's park. 340 to the foul poles, 390 to those power alleys, and 406 to center. You got to drive a ball to get it out of here. Although there'll be some this year who'll tell you it's easier because the opinion's becoming more universal that there's a little rabbit in it. 2-2. Smashed on the ground. Sennett, good backhand. Turns, throws, and got him. How about that for a play, Harry Walker?
That's the manager's delight. He hit that ball right on the button. You thought it was a base hit, but he went over and backhand the ball and made an easy play out of it.
Oh, he showed some good range, and then his momentum taking him away and then being able to stop and throw. Going to be close, but he got him.
Well, it'd be great to get him straightened out where he can get playing the way he's capable of playing, because he's been a good ball player.
You bet. And he showed you the good range there. Took a hit away from Terry Poole. Now here's Craig Reynolds. Was a pinch hitter last night, went 0 for 1. Reynolds batting .277. No homers, 23 runs batted in. He's hitting .440 against us. Right down the middle for a strike. Giants in Montreal have gone to the 5th, no score. There's a good study of Keeson. And here's his opponent right now, shortstop Craig Reynolds. Just turned it over a little for an off-speed pitch, popped him outside the coach's box at third, 2 away. Now, the last time he pitched, he got about 4 or 5 outs with that off-speed stuff, and boy, that can be effective.
Well, it makes his fastball a lot better, too. He's able to pull the string. They're looking for that fastball. They jump out in front, just like the play you just saw. He's got his bat extended. The ball hasn't got there yet.
All right, here is Cesar Cedeno. Got 3 hits last night and 4 at-bats and drove in a run. He's batting .271, 5 homers and 38 runs batted in. 23 stolen bases. Cedeno batting with nobody on in front of him, 2 away. We're in the bottom of the 1st, no score. Pirates got a hit in the top of the 1st, but Moreno, who collected it, was caught stealing. Boy, he popped some leather that time. San Diego leading the Phillies 4-1.
You know, he's been such a fastball pitcher that by having that changeup, it makes an extra pitch for him, allows him to keep that hit a little bit off balance and a little more honest.
And he's got a couple of them, so it gives him, and he fouls that back. He challenged him there and got out in front of him 0-2. Give you that straight change, and then he just kind of turns it over a little, takes something off also. And he's really come up with a good hard slider, too. No balls, 2 strikes. Bounced foul. Look out over the dugout.
Yeah, there's a pitch 2-0. You want to make it real bad. If he wants to hit it, he's got to hit it foul. You set him up so he could go with a breaking ball. A good hard slider down the way from him would be a good pitch right here. If he can get the ball close to the plate, just a couple inches out, he'd probably go for it.
All right, he's in front of Cedeno 0-2. Cruz would be next. It's the bottom of the 1st. Keeson and James Rodney Richard, the opposing right-handers tonight. Foley Fast man running and got him. Foley throws out Cedeno, so it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Bruce Keeson. We have played an inning. And after the first, it's the Bucks nothing and Houston nothing.
Chevrolet's having a sale.
We go to the second, and this is it for James E. Shatter of Etna, PA, because this is it for Giant Eagle Home Run Sweepstakes. Now, James E. Shatter of Etna, you root the Bucks here in the top of the second, because if a Buck hits one out of here, you're going to get $900 worth of Giant Eagle groceries. Before the first batter steps in, I want to remind you that this copyrighted telecast is authorized under television rights granted by the Pirates solely for the entertainment of our audience. And any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Pirates is prohibited. A look at our coaches. 42, Al Monchek at first. And over at third, the old Beaver man himself, number 32, Joe Lynette. We've got Stargell ready to lead off. That ought to perk up the ears of James E. Shatter as we play Giant Eagle Home Run Sweepstakes. Missed with one upstairs to the captain, who is our leading hitter at 308, 15 homers, 37 runs batted in. Last night went 1 for 5. 2 balls, no strikes. San Diego ups the ante at Philadelphia. Third inning. Padres are leading the Phillies 7-1. Boy, here's a couple of Giants looking at one another. James Rodney Richard and Willie Stargell. Couldn't hold it that time, could he?
No, he really worked on him. He didn't give him that fastball to hit. He realized it was a big risk to throw that pitch to him, so he gave him an off-speed or breaking ball.
2-1. Fouled that one, and did Ashby take the brunt of that one? Might have. And the plate umpire in this situation will right down there with him. He'll usually kind of stall a little bit and give that catcher a chance to make sure he's all right, won't he?
He sure will, and that's the one thing about catching, boy. You get some tough blows back there.
Stargell with the 2-2 count. Leading it off in the second inning. Milner's on deck, then it'll be Madlock. Oh, he didn't fool around with that when he brought it right from the center field 406 sign. Now we're going to check the sign hat. What did he do here?
Nothing, just missed the ball. You got to give the pitcher credit.
Well,
give him his pitch, and he just had the good sinker and good stuff on it. Willie wasn't cheated, I'll say that.
That ball just kept going down. Here's John Milner, 2 for 4 last night, batting for James E. Shatter of Etna. Foul back. Hammer, as he steps in tonight, is batting .245, 6 homers, and 22 runs batted in. Cincinnati's gone in front of the Cardinals 2-0 in the fourth. Mike Lacoste, good-looking young right-hander, has that lead. Lacoste, you know, is the fellow who got out to 8-0, is now 8-3. Pitched a good game against us over the weekend, and Tom Lasorda rewarded him with his good first half, naming him the All-Star team. Took something off of that breaking pitch, but didn't get the strike zone, and it's 2-1 to John Milner playing left field tonight. Bill Robinson's sprained ankle. If it came to where he really had to play, yes, but there's a drive out into left center, but it's not going to carry. Cruz is practically going to wait in his tracks, and it's 2 away. So Milner flies to Cruz. That'll make it 2 away, and brings up third baseman Bill Madlock. Was 2 for 4 last night. Madlock hitting .268 against the league, 7 homers, 44 RBIs. James E. Shatter still holding on here, hoping Madlock can get his first home run as a Pirate. Slightly closed stance for Madlock. That's a ball. The Cubs in Atlanta are in the 5th. They're tied at 2-2. Just a straight change that time, 1-1. The secret to the change is not to telegraph it, isn't it?
Same motion as you can on your fastball.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Really what a hitter looks for, you sort of pick up the rhythm of the man's delivery. You study him while you're on the on-deck circle as well as hitting.
Ooh, it almost took James Rodney with him. That's when that 60 feet 6 inches gets a little short, doesn't it?
I tell you, if I was a pitcher, I'd have to have insurance tonight. I pitched against Stargell or McCovey. Either one of those guys could kill you in a hurry.
Look at it come right back at you now. Look how close it comes to the big guy. Who self-defense, he puts the glove up. So it's a base hit for Madlock. That'll bring up Ed Ott, the catcher. And we've got a happy birthday boy stepping in. There he is. Happy birthday, Otter. What about celebrating? He's twice his number. Is that right, Brian? 28. Otter with 5 homers. Throw over, not close on Madlock. Ott has 21 RBIs. He has a .262 batting average. Madlock, a deceptive base runner. He has stolen 13 bases. So they're working on him.
This Ashby's showing me a good arm, though. The other night I watched him when he was playing Cincinnati. He threw Morgan out. He threw out 2 of the best runners, Marino and Morgan. He's definitely shown these people he can throw.
Ott batting with a runner at first, 2 down, second inning, no score. Smashed in the ground right at Cedeno. Just a matter of stepping over to the bag, and that'll do it. Well, no home run was hit during this Giant Eagle sweepstakes inning, but no one ever loses here. Our contestant, James E. Shatter of Etna, will receive a certificate for 10 Tasty Cake family packs and an assortment of daily juice products available at your grocer. Our next Giant Eagle sweepstakes will be worth $1,000. We played an inning and a half. Pirates nothing, Houston nothing.
Now the trick is in just 3 moves.
Their third base coach, number 5, Bob Lillis. And over at first, Jay Alou, number 22. He's a player coach. And he's been doing some of their pinch hitting for them. So you managed Matty. Of course, that's one of the real success stories for you, isn't it?
Well, I also managed this Alou right here. He was here when I was here. He's been around a good while.
In this second inning for Houston, they'll have Cruz and Cabell and Walling. Well, the gentleman in the striped shirt, old friend of both the hats of mine, Art Rotsong, who was in baseball for many, many years. And in the blue and red and white, that's Jimmy Rotsong, and there's Valerie. They were in Pittsburgh for a number of years, and he was in baseball a long time, and you've known him for many years, haven't you?
He was my general manager when I was down here in Houston. And also, I was up coaching when he was at St. Louis. We've been together a long time.
Cruz sends one toward the left field corner. Is it a yes? It is a fair ball. It's right at the base of the wall, so he'll come in with a stand-up double.
This is what you talk about, a hitter knowing the pitcher. He knows that he's got the sinker. He went into the ball and went to the opposite field instead of trying to pull it. That's what's made him a better hitter. Watch his pitch. Watch him throw the bat. The ball's sinking. There it is. This is what you like to see a hitter do. Compete with the pitcher. Not just try to set one pattern. He adjusted to the ball and was able to throw the bat at the ball instead of pull away from it.
And Buster got that ball up a little more than he wanted to that time, too. Cruz had come in hitting .284. That's his 19th double. That gives him the lead on their club. He's also their leading RBI man. Here is Enos Cabell, 1 for 4. Cabell batting .265. A little tapper off the third base side, and it's a foul ball. Ott scrambling out of there in case he had a play.
Talking about Cruz, when he was with the Cardinals, that was one of the things we had trouble. We tried our best. We worked with him to learn to do that, to go to the opposite field. He used to be a dead pull hitter. Anytime you turned the ball over, he pulled off of it, pulled the ball to first base, allowed a strikeout. He's learned to go with the pitch now and know what pitches he can pull and other pitches he goes with. He's been a lot better hitter since then. All young hitters, if they would study he and Madlock the way they hit, would probably help them a lot.
All right, now in 0-1, a bouncer right side. Stennett will make a play to first, but it'll also get the runner over to third, which was what Cabell was up there doing.
That way you don't have to bunt. You like to see a hitter will give himself up to move that runner over. That way a manager doesn't have to bunt so many times. You also have a chance for a base hit. The ball was inside. He went inside out to get the ball to the opposite side.
Here's Denny Walling, the right fielder, 1 for 4 last night. He drove in a run. Walling hitting .320. Done a good job for this club. 3 homers and 19 runs batted in. Now the fly ball gets Houston on top. The right side of our infield has come up. Madlock's even with the bag. Shortstop Foley's going to come up about halfway. Challenged him, cut right through it.
Here's the time the hitter wants to be careful. Be a little selective on the first pitch or two. He's got a good sinker, and he'd like to get the ball in the dirt. He needs to get a ball up for hitting the fly ball.
Go to third. Hey, how about that? Boy, Ed Ott with a shotgun. Cruz has been nailed.
Well, that was so quick you couldn't see it.
Oh, you talk about Ed Ott putting the ball in the air with velocity. That ball was down there, and it was perfect where Madlock could handle it and tag him.
One of the big things was the ball was sinking away. He swung at the ball, which will make that runner lean just a little bit. Ott never hesitated. He come up throwing, and he caught him a little off balance.
All right, here it is.
There's the ball right there, sinking away, see?
Boy, amazing, because Ott had to backhand that ball. Hey, he got him right. He sure did.
He kind of stumbled, looked like trying to get back in there.
It looked like Cruz's feet got tangled up, didn't it, Harry?
Well, it was so quick. He was moving a little bit on the pitch probably because he was probably going to go if there's a ground ball hit.
And you've made that trip a few times.
I haven't won many either. He's just like me.
No balls and 2 strikes. Nice going, Otter. There's a birthday candle for the Otter. That throw. Wasted that one, 1 and 2. Did you ever... Well, I'll get it to when we got a little more time. There's an off speed, and it's bounce foul. When you manage, did you ever have a fine for a pitcher that threw a ball in the strike zone on 0-2?
Yes, at one time. I had a ball club my first year. It got so bad, we lost about 8 ball games with 2-0 pitches. It beat us, and I put a $100 fine on it. That stopped it a little bit.
You know, I've said that on the air a few times, and people say, what do you mean? I said, well, that's just how they impress it on them. When you start taking it out of their billfold, then they
listen. It's like that mule the guy hit with a 2 before. Just trying to get his attention.
That's right. Bouncer toward Rennie. Nice big hop. And he got him, and the side has been retired. So it's no runs after a leadoff double and then moving him over to third. Ott's play was a big one. And nobody was left. And there he is nailing him again, just as pretty as it was the first time. See that leg? It's down under. He didn't want it there. So we have played 2 innings. Pirates nothing, Houston nothing.
Arrangements with the Pirates for this telecast. The announcers for this game have been selected by station KDKA-TV, subject to the approval of the Pittsburgh Pirates Baseball Club.
We're going to the third, and we have another Giant Eagle home run sweepstakes inning. Rennie Stendel will be leading it off for William Hunter of Imperial. It's up to $1,000 here. And William Hunter, Rennie Stennett's going to try to do it for you. $1,000 worth of Giant Eagle groceries. Boy, oh boy, he popped that corner with that one.
Did he throw that one? That's about as hard as you could throw.
That might have been about 96 miles an hour, huh? Rennie 1 for 2 with an RBI last night. Turned out to be the winning RBI. Sacrifice fly. We said when he got it, it might be a big run. How little did we know then that it was going to be the deciding run.
There's that slider.
Oh, that was
about 87 to 88. I'll tell you, those 2 pitches as good as you'll ever see in baseball.
0-2 as Rennie leads it off, batting .235. Fouled it down the right side. Now, there's a case right there. No balls, 2 strikes. No wonder that ball goes over Cedeno's head down the line. Tell the story about Mel Ott and the fine he gave a guy one time for an 0-2 pitch.
Fined him $500. Hop got a base hit to beat him, 2-0. Next time he came out to pitch, he got 2-0, hit the back of the screen. I'd find him another $500.
Ooh.
That's where you like to see it once in a while. You don't want to hit him. Just let him know if he stays there, he might get hurt.
Little purpose pitch.
That's right. Purpose is to get you to back off that plate.
1-2 the count.
There it is, too.
And then he came right back with a slider.
You got him leaning with that pitch just a little bit because you remember that last pitch, what it did, so you can't hang around there too long with this guy throwing.
Let's take a look at James Rodney when he lets it fly here now and then gets the strikeout and see how he reacts. Yeah, he knew he got it, didn't
Routine.
he? Yeah, just another day's work. Pitch to Keeson is a ball. See what Buster's been doing with his bat. He has had 1 hit this year. It was a double. And he's batting second here, and he's batting for William Hunter of Imperial. Buster's had a home run in the big leagues, William Hunter, so don't turn away. Moreno will be next. 2-0.
You know, there's a big difference today, too. Musial, when he was in his heydays, he just wore the Dodgers out and the Giants. And every time it meant anything to put him on, they'd either put him on or knock him down 4 times. Today, you can't do that. You could really, if you had nerve enough to drill a guy, You could throw at him 4 or 5 times if you wanted to.
Now they're either taking money away from you for doing it or throwing you out of the game if you retaliate.
That used to bring out a few fights, I'll tell you that.
Clear a few dugouts.
I'm glad I'm up here not hitting. I tell you, he's going pretty good.
If you were hitting against James Rodney, now in your heyday, say in 1946 or 7, fouled off, how would you approach him when you went to the batter's box? No, really not.
Well, I'd really try to just meet the ball and try to hit him down the field. I know I'm not going to put him. I never did. I never did worry about that because I wasn't going to try to get out in front. I would try to do what Omar did. Hit the ball through the box or left field.
Struck him out, and that's number 3. Now we go to the top with Omar Moreno. Omar Moreno, we talked with him as to what Harry Walker had done with him to get him up near the 300 mark.
Now I tried to work him with this morning to especially to remind what I doing at the beginning of the season. Try to hit the ball in the ground. Try to hit line drive almost to left field. That's what I try to do right now. Keep my mind, hit the ball to the middle. Try to cut my swing and try to hit the ball on the ground so I can use my speed. So I can get a lot of base hits, especially between shortstop and third base.
Well, he sure remembered it the first time up tonight, Harry, and he got that base hit, chopping it over the third baseman's head. He's batting for William Hunter of Imperial and home run sweepstakes for Giant Eagle. And James Rodney pops some leather and gets out in front. Atlanta's gone in front of the Cubs 4-2 there in the 5th inning in Atlanta. Speaking of Atlanta, we get a knuckleballer Joe Niekro tomorrow night here. And then on Friday night in the opener in Atlanta, we get Phil Niekro. Strike 2.
There's a pitch he opened up on too quickly. Turned his body on the ball. It was a low sinker, and you're trying to pull this guy. He's tough, but that's that hard slider. And I tell you, it's just one of the hardest pitches in the game, as hard as this guy throws. To hit that pitch, you got to have a little luck with it.
Now you know he's got almost 150 strikeouts at the halfway mark. Nobody on, 2 away. Started off the inning with a couple of strikeouts. And he gets another one and strikes out the side. He burnt that good hard slider right in on his hands that time.
That's where they should try to pitch him if they could.
Well, no home run was hit during this Giant Eagle sweepstakes inning, but no one ever loses here. Our contestant, William Hunter, will receive a certificate for 10 Tasty Cake family packs and an assortment of Daily Juice products available at your grocer. Our next Giant Eagle sweepstakes inning will be worth $1,100. James Rodney struck out the side. We're in the middle of the third. Still Bucks nothing, Astros nothing. There's the skipper, Chuck Tanner, down behind the bat rack as he watches Keeson warm up. Harry Walker, let me throw something at you here. 2 of the great hitters. You played with one and against another one, Stan Musial and Ted Williams. In talking with them about hitting over the years since they've gotten out of the game and how it was at the end of their careers, they felt that and the reason I talked with Williams especially was, would there be another 400 hitter? He felt that 2 or 3 things would probably keep it from happening. Number 1, all the night games. Number 2, the extended travel where we go to the West Coast so much now. And number 3 was the advent of almost everybody coming up with a slider. What do you feel about it?
Well, they're partly right. It's a tough pitch. As much as anything, the sliders help. It makes every pitcher have an extra weapon, and they've learned to control it so much better and easier than a curveball. And it is a pitch they can keep down. Very effective pitch.
This is Art Howe, takes a strike. If a young pitcher has a real good curveball, if he starts throwing the slider, doesn't it take something away from the curve?
Sometimes. One of the reasons the slider's used so much, it's an easier pitch to throw. But if you make mistakes, you get a lot of home runs hit off of it. But you also get a lot of strikeouts with it.
That slider will flatten out, won't it? And then the good home run hitter, he'll jack it out. There's a base hit through the right side. And Howe is on with a leadoff single in the Houston third. Howe had come into this ball game batting .235 with 4 homers and 22 runs batted in. For Art Howe, with that base hit, he's now hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games. He was 1 for 4 last night, and here is the catcher, Alan Ashby. The hits are even at 2 in the game. Ashby was 0 for 3 with his bat last night. He's batting .226, 2 homers, 28 runs batted in. But the main thing that batting average a little deceiving. They didn't get him so much for his bat. They got him to solidify their catching. He's done that.
He's taking a stand. Watch him when he stands. He's awful stiff-legged, and he just jumps right into the ball. He doesn't have a smooth glide pattern. You'd like to see him break his knee a little bit, put his weight on the ball of the feet, and sort of glide into the ball. He sort of stands stiff-legged, and then all of a sudden he just lets fly with a long sweep. See there? He doesn't have a good body control swing where he has the hands working and the body together. It's not a swing you'd like to see.
And that's
you think you'd change, you know, a guy that's not hitting any better than that. He'd try to copy a guy that's successful.
That's why he's batting .226 and batting 8. All right, he's out in front of him, 0-2 with Howe at first and nobody out. Houston had a threat in the second with a leadoff double. Then Ed Ott picked a runner off third. Now that's what I like to see Buster do. Don't give that guy a pitch he can hit on 0-2. Give it to him away there. Now maybe he can go for the sinker or the good hard slider in.
Well, it makes him think a little bit, and the pitch allows you to set him up a little bit rather than just giving him a good pitch to hit, because with 2 strikes, don't give him a pitch that's too good. Let him have to fish for it a little bit.
Fouled off.
He's right on the end of the bat. You think he would choke up a little bit where you have a little better bat control. See that long sweep he's got? He just doesn't get himself in good position.
Yeah, because he's not going to hit many home runs. There's no sense being down on that knob, is there?
Well, he could also get a little more relaxed with his body and break his knee a little bit.
Rings him up for Buster's first strikeout here tonight. Makes it 1 away in the Houston third. Howe still at first.
That really makes you feel bad from the standpoint of an ex-player and a manager. To see a ball player with the talent he's got, good receiver, great arm, he probably feels like, okay, so what? But he can make himself an outstanding catcher by hitting 260, 280. And it could be done if he would work at it, think about hitting the balls to the opposite field more instead of trying to jerk the ball.
James Rodney Richard is not an All-American out. He's up there and takes his cuts. He's had 4 hits, one of them a homer and 3 RBIs. In the game that he pitched us against us earlier this year, he went 1 for 3 and drove in a run. Got himself out in front in that ball game, was not around for the finish. Eason steps away. Now Art Howe at first base.
He's squaring around to bunt, and I think he's going to bunt. They'll go for it to try to pick up that extra run. James Rodney's not a good hitter. He's dangerous.
That's right. Throw it right up there, and if he does put a bat on it, 9 times out of 10 he's going to pop it up.
But that's about far enough. You don't want to go too far and walk him. You know he's going to bunt. Get good stuff on the ball. Get it down in, let him bunt it. But
the first pitch is a good time to do it.
Yep, a good time to see if he'll go for it. Now, his back foot, if he could get it a little farther out in front of the plate and closer, have a little better control of the plate. But he does square around. We worked on that when I was here even. There it is. He did a good job with it.
Eason's going to take it himself, it looked like for a moment. Then Stennett got there, and he flipped it to him.
Last night we talked about Bibby, you know. He didn't square around. When you square around, these young guys have been looking. Your front foot should be out in front of the plate a little bit farther. Reach out and catch the ball and then kill it. Bring the bat back. There it is. You see that?
He deadened it a little bit.
Deadened the ball good. He worked on it spring training when I was here with him. He hadn't forgot it. Scargill can do that real good. Probably one of your better bunters on the club. You never use him. You don't have to, thank goodness.
Here's Terry Poole, the runner at second. Poole, the first time up, was robbed of a hit on a great play by Stennett going way to his right. Hits are even at 2, no score, no errors. Got that outside corner, cut some of the black with that one.
That was a perfect pitch. But, of course, Poole is a type that will go with that pitch better than a lot of the hitters. He's a tough out. He makes good contact and allows the bat to go to the ball.
Giants break a scoreless game. They go in front of Montreal 1-0 in the 8th. Bouncer up the middle. Stopped by Stennett. Throws and got it. Holy Toledo. Throw to the plate. No need to make the throw to the plate because that was the final out.
I didn't know what the umpire might call the play, though. The umpire was behind him, and he would go ahead and make the play. But he made a great play here. That's 2 tonight.
He didn't get that much on the throw that time because his momentum took him so far away. All of Harry Gilmer right there, wasn't it? But look at this. What a play. Second time in a row. And really a great play by Stunnett. Second time on Poole. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. We've played 3 innings. It's still the Pirates nothing and the Astros nothing.
3 innings are sponsored in part by Wendy's Old-Fashioned Hamburgers, where the hamburgers are hot and juicy. And in part by your local Pepsi-Cola bottlers, who invite you to have a Pepsi Day. Well, once again, a very pleasant good evening from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. We're getting ready for the 4th, along with Milo Hamilton and Harry Walker. This is Lanny Fratteri. Tim Foley, 0 for 1, fly to left center in the first inning. The totals on the ball game: the Pirates no runs on 2 hits and no errors. The Astros no runs, 2 hits, no errors. The big story of the game: fine defensive plays. Ed Ott picked off Jose Cruz in the 2nd inning when Cruz was sitting at 3rd and 1 out. And then in the bottom of the 3rd, Rennie Stennett, fine play out behind the second base bag. He's done it twice to Terry Poole in the ball game.
2 great plays that he's made, and then of course to play at third base. You've seen some of the best baseball you can see, and this guy tonight throwing, no one drove any harder than he's throwing tonight.
There's strike 3. Ashby chasing it. Foley running for first, and he made it.
He come off the bag.
So on the strike 3 and the ball got away from Ashby, Foley is going to be on. Strikeout will be Richards' 5th. And after a bad pitch.
Well, he throws so hard. You just can't wait on him.
Tim initially thought he had not swung at the pitch. So it goes as a strikeout for Richard, and then Foley gets first base on the wild pitch. No score in the ball game, 4th inning. Parker lined out his first time up. .296 batting average. There's a strike. The Giants and the Expos were battling scoreless. That is until the 7th inning when Mike Ivey hit a home run. So now the Giants have a 1-0 lead after 7, playing the Expos at Olympic Stadium.
You know he's throwing hard when these hitters are having trouble getting that bat around. They're all a little bit late. But he's certainly throwing the ball hard with a great slider and a real good fastball tonight.
For the 2nd straight night, we're seeing a hard-throwing right-hander. Last night, it was Jim Bibby who was really bringing it at the Astros. Now the table's been turned, and it's Richard doing it against the black and gold of the Bucs. Scoreless ball game. Shortstop Reynolds. Howe at second, 1. Double play. Got the ball in on him.
He jammed him with the ball like I told you. He's awful quick. His slider is about 86 to 88 miles an hour. It's a tough pitch to handle.
Howe did a good job at second base.
Did a great job, but Parker ran hard on the ball, and you admire him for it. He got on that line hard as he could go.
Reynolds had started the double play. 2 out, nobody on 4th inning. Here's Stargell. Willie struck out in the 2nd inning. No score in the ball game. San Diego Padres tonight leading the Philadelphia Phillies 7-3 in the 5th inning. Jerry Turner, Dave Winfield, and Gene Tennis have hit home runs for San Diego. Gary Maddox, home run for Philadelphia.
They better hope they can get to that 7th or 8th inning of that finger coming that ball game with a couple of 3-run leads.
Yeah, D'Acquisto is the San Diego starter, but you're right. They've got rally fingers to mop up late in ball games. 1-2 to Stargell. And skied on the right side. Art Howe looking right up into that ceiling of the dome, and he has it. So the Pirates in the 4th inning. no runs, no hits. Foley had reached on a strikeout wild pitch, but then erased on the double play. So after 3.5 from the Houston Astrodome, still Pirates and Astros scoreless.
It's a long drive, going, foul. If your transmission's gone foul after a long drive, see your local AMCO dealer.
Boy, we're wrapped up in a good one from the Houston Astrodome, and it's a pleasure to bring it to you. Harry Walker with us the last couple of nights. It's really been a pleasure to have you with us, too, Harry. And one of the big questions about the Astrodome I've always wondered, because it's such a spacious ballpark, do pitchers pitch differently here?
Well, you've got room to challenge the hitter more, and you don't have the wind factor either. It's a big ballpark, and you feel much freer to really come at the hitter and give him his pitch. And it's always been that way, and it's a good ballpark.
340 down the lines here, 390 to the gaps, and it's the 390 dimension is the furthest gap dimension of the National League, 406 to straightaway center. That is not the furthest center field dimension. San Diego has a center field dimension of 420. Here's Craig Reynolds, bottom of the 4th inning, Keeson against Richard. That's the pitching matchup, and we're wrapped up in a scoreless ball game. Watch out. Ooh, caught him right in the back. Reynolds is on with a hit batsman.
This is something you see that you never saw before. He's not throwing at him. He's just a little bit wild. He's a guy that you like to pitch inside to. And he did get it inside. So they have to go warn each one in case it starts anything.
Paul Pryor coming over to point out the situation to Chuck Tanner.
That's one of the things you find today, that pitchers are not allowed to come inside really to just brush the guy back. You're not throwing at him. And it makes the pitcher have to give you more pitches down the middle of the plate to hit. It have changed a little bit due to that, and it allows the hitter to get a lot better pitches. Because you'd like to come up and in once in a while to back that hitter off the plate a little bit. But if you do, and the guy goes down and you hit him, then it starts something. They all start hollering, you're throwing at him.
I thought Richard was trying to make a point when he pitched to Stennett and Keeson in the 3rd. There was a pitch to Stennett that he threw up and in. Again, it's hard to tell whether it was a riding fastball or whether that was his...
And it was very effective, because the very next pitch was a slider, and he struck him out with it because you got him leaning a little bit, got him thinking a little bit, and then it's much easier to work the outside part of the plate.
All right, we'll wait and see if that blossoms into some further problems. Here's Cedeno now. Foley made a fine play in the 1st inning to retire Cedeno. Reynolds, as you can see, still trying to shake off the aftermath of taking the pitch in the small of the back. Of course, Reynolds and Keeson would have been teammates a couple of years ago when Reynolds was a member of the Pirates organization. 1-1 on Cedeno. Scoreless ball game. Might this be the situation where the Astros would think about doing some running? Hit and run?
Well, I don't know. This Cedeno doesn't do that too much. Last night they were stealing with him, and he got a base hit to right field, so they might try it. But Keeson is a little bit wild sometimes, and you sometimes rather have a guy that's around the plate a little more. Here's what I mean. The ball's a little erratic. It's not right around that plate. You know, he can miss a good bit, so the hit and run would not be effective on ball that you couldn't handle.
2-1 on Cedeno. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Here's a good time to do it if you're going to do it, though. You got the guy 2-1. You know he doesn't want to get a ball on this pitch. He wants it around the plate.
Not likely to throw a changeup on throw a pitch out in a 2-1. Was not going, and the breaking pitch, Cedeno swings and misses 2-2.
Wasn't anything Cedeno but a quick slider. He worried about that ball taking off, but he's got a quick slider. You can pitch Cedeno there. That's the spot you'd like to work on him. But you have to come inside to keep him from leaning on you. And you have to come up in the end to brush him back to make that a pitch effective that it ought to be, out away from him.
Billy Burden, former Pirate outfielder, now, of course, the skipper of the Houston Astros. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. second strikeout for Keeson.
This is what has changed about Cedeno. When I was here with him, he was hitting 344. He would hit a lot of pitches to the opposite field. Now he's opening up awful quick to try to pull and hit the ball too hard. He swings at a lot of bad pitches.
Boy, you got a good look at it right there, yeah.
When he's waiting and inside out the ball, he's a tough out. But he hasn't done that in the last few years when he hasn't hit his 300. That's what made this fellow right here, Cruz, a 300 hitter. Just like a while ago with a sinker, he hit it off the left field wall. He used to try to pull every pitch. And he wound up that the Cardinals had to get rid of him. For 3 years, he wouldn't change. Finally came up here, and he's learned to do it now.
So Cruz batting with Reynolds at first base in 1 out, 4th inning, scoreless ball game. Big story in this game, the defensive players that Stennett's turned 2, Foley with 1, and a big pickoff of Cruz. He was dancing too far off third in the second, and Ed Ott picked him off. Fouled away, 1-1.
There's a pitch he was going to the opposite field with. He studies the pitchers. He goes with the ball. He knows the fellow's got a good sinker, and he'll more or less think that way. Once in a while, he'd try a ball when he gets you in the hole, and he thinks he can gamble with you. He can't hit the ball out of the ballpark occasionally.
He has 5 home runs on the year. Stargell holding Reynolds on at first base. Their third baseman, Enos Cabell, is on deck. If I were going to pick a pitch, I'd take this one right here.
If he'd like to get this ball, he could get a hold of.
There he goes. Third base, Madlock. On to Stargell. They just got Cruz at first base, 2 away. Reynolds was running, so the only play was to first base for Bill Madlock on the high bouncing ball.
That's why you use the hit and run a lot of times, especially with nobody out. Rather than bunt, you gamble with a good bat control man. He can make contact. If you don't get the base hit, he gets the ball on the ground, you get your man to second. It's a good play to use for that reason. Sometimes it'll get a hitter out of a slump even because he's too careful. But when you put the hit and run on, he's got to be aggressive. He's got to swing at anything. Sometimes that can get a hitter started.
So the runner at second base, Enos Cabell, the batter, with 2 out in the inning. We're in the bottom of the 4th in a scoreless ball game. Cabell grounded to second base in the 2nd inning. Shot up the middle, base hit. Reynolds has the green light. Moreno up with it. Here's the throw to the plate, and they didn't get him. Ed Ott thought he had the plate blocked. Reynolds scores. It's 1-0 Houston, and Cabell moves down to second. Tanner's out.
He made that play a lot closer than I thought he could make it. I believe he got in there. I'm not sure. When they come back on the playback, we can see.
Here's the look. Center fielder Moreno. Reynolds with his left hand coming across the plate and then his left elbow. So the run scores and breaks the tie. Astros leading 1-0 in the 4th. And Cabell, of course, going down to second base on the throw. Cabell gets his 38th RBI of the year. Here's Dennis Walling. 0 for 1.
There's the play we're talking about on the hit and run. Even though he didn't get the hit, he got the man in scoring position. And this ball club has to do a lot of that. They don't have a power ball club, and they have to advance that runner any way they can. A little bit like the Pirates was a long time ago, about 1960, when they said they nickel and dime you to death. They played that type of ball. They won the pennant doing it.
And, of course, it changed into a Pirate ball club that played a lot for the big inning. And it even transpired into a Pirate club that went for the big inning but used the speed effectively. Strike 2 on Walling.
Here's a timing hitter. Knows this guy's got a sinker and a man's in scoring position. He tried to pull that sinker low and away, and it's just hard to do. Here a time, if he'd go straight away with the ball, he'd be more effective, a better bat control, have more pitches to hit.
2 out, runner at second base, 4th inning. Struck him out. Third strikeout for Keeson. The Astros in the fourth inning get one run on the RBI single by Cabell. Reynolds had reached on a hit batsman. He scores the run. After 4, it's Houston 1 and our Pirates nothing. Sunday, July 22nd and Monday, July 23rd, the Pirates will play back-to-back doubleheaders against the Atlanta Braves. July 22nd is Hershey Park's Chocolate Sunday. Characters from Hershey Park will be going through the stands, passing out Hershey bars to thousands of youngsters attending that ball game. And then Monday, July 23rd is Buck Night at the stadium, when all tickets will be discounted $1.50. That's Chocolate Sunday and Buck Night Monday. Both days doubleheaders. Sunday, July 22nd and Monday, July 23rd against the Atlanta Braves. 1-0 Houston leads as we go now to the fifth inning, and John Milner leads off against J.R. Richard. Milner 0 for 1. Right side is second baseman Howe, one down. Pirates have 2 hits. Bill Madlock has one of the 2. He singled to center field in the second. San Francisco leading Montreal 1-0. Going to the 9th inning in Montreal. Popped up. Third base side. Cabell over near our dugout. But back out of play. Strike 1. James Rodney Richard has 5 strikeouts in this game, leading the National League with 149 strikeouts.
Been an exciting ball game. Good baseball. This is a game that every fan on whatever ball club he might be with would have to enjoy. It's been great plays, good pitching, good hitting, good defense.
Well, I'll tell you what, Harry, we've had the pleasure of bringing some really downright exciting baseball back to Pittsburgh, especially on this road trip game the other day against the Reds that we televised from Riverfront, with Stargell hitting the home run in the 9th inning to beat Cincinnati 2-1. Then last night's classic ball game.
A guy like this pitching, James Rodney, you have to stay close to him and hope that you don't give up more than 1 or 2 runs. He can have a bad inning.
Reynolds on to Cedeno, and 2 away.
James Rodney's type pitcher. He's walked 3 men and turned around and strike out 3, though. He's done that several times.
Throws 6 wild pitches.
That's right.
He did that earlier this year.
But tonight, he's certainly been outstanding. He has not made any mistakes and had great control, outstanding fastball and slider.
Ed Ott stepping in. Ed with a .317 lifetime batting average against the Houston Astros. Batting with nobody on, 2 down. 5th inning. Astros 1, Pirates nothing. San Diego's lead against Philadelphia, 7-3 in the 6th inning. Left field corner. Going to bounce around. Cruz chasing it down. Ed Ott digging for second base. And he'll make the turn at second and hold on.
Well, I'd love to see him be able to do that a little more often. Of course, this guy throws so hard. You need to try to get the bat on the ball, but that should tell him something. That ball's away. Instead of trying to pull it, he went with the pitch. If he'd learned to do that more, I think you'd see him up that batting average quite a bit.
Ball died in the corner, too, as it went off into foul territory. Cruz got no bounce at all.
They want to appeal the play, but I think I saw him touch the bag on that play.
Field play. Satch Davidson said no, he got the base. All right, Rennie Stennett stepping in. And as you can see on your screen, Stennett batting over .300 on the road this year, but batting only .169 at Three River Stadium, something that Harry Walker and I talked about last night.
He kind of dipped before he started to swing on that pitch. But I haven't seen him do in the past few years. It looked like he kind of squatted and put his weight on his heels a little bit. Did it again.
Popped up. Ashby might have a play. And he does.
You can see there, you talked about it, I don't know, but the first pitch and the second pitch, just when the ball was getting ready to be delivered, he started to move. He broke his knees and put his weight a little bit on his heels, where he had nothing going into the ball. He was more or less reaching nothing but his hand.
So after 4.5 innings of play, Astros lead 1-0. We'll be right back. George Foster, Tom Seaver, Joe Morgan, Johnny Bench, and the rest of the Cincinnati Reds will invade Three Rivers Stadium on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, July 24th, 25th, and 26th, to battle our Pittsburgh Pirates. Action continuing at Three Rivers as we take on the Reds in a patented series, a battle to help us climb up in the National League Eastern Division. Game time all 3 nights, 7:35. We invite you to call the ticket office at 323-1150 for ticket information. Don't miss it. Harry Walker's jumping here. He's ready. What do you got?
I was thinking about something. He's talking about a story. I never will forget Frankie Frisch in Pittsburgh my first year. Had a fellow named Barrett could really fly. In the 9th inning, the game's tied. Frankie walked over and said, son, don't you move. You stay right there. The winning run's on third. There's nobody out. So you just stay right there. So he went back. Ground ball had hit the ground. Goes to the catcher. They look up. He's not running. So they throw to second for a double play. And the guy standing at first and would not move. He said, Frank, you told me not to move. I said, that's the truth. And the next guy flied out, and they lost the game later.
All right, ready for the bottom of the 5th. Art Howe will lead it up. It was so funny. Harry thought of that story. He was ready to tell it. I got to get that. I got to tell him about that Red Series coming up before we get to that. Here's the pitch to Howe. Bouncer to Medlock. One away. The 1-0 ball game. The Astros got their run in the 4th on a 2-out single by Cabell that drove in Reynolds.
Both of those pitchers are pitching great ball. They both kept the ball down, had good control. They've had good defense behind both of them.
Alan Ashby struck out in the 3rd. Gapper to right center. Parker, Moreno converging. It's going to drop on the warning track and bounce up against the wall. Ashby will round second and stop. Alan Ashby driving it up against the fence in right center field. It's only the 4th Astros hit. Well, Dave played the ball off the wall perfectly, and Ashby at second base.
There's a play that if Parker's going in, Moreno stays out and chase the ball, gets over Parker's head, then he has to back him up. A lot of times your second baseman or shortstop, where the wall is fairly close, will have to trail out to take the ball off the wall in case the 2 outfielders get tangled up with it.
Runner at second with 1 down. Last half of the 5th inning. Astros leading 1-0. See what Richard does here. He was sacrifice bunting in the 3rd, but this time he taps it out in front of the plate, keeps it off the hill, throws to Scargill. Richard is out 1-3, and Ashby moves to 3rd. One nothing. Houston leads. Last night it was Jim Bibby who picked up the victory as the Pirates beat the Astros. Tonight, Keeson dueling with James Rodney Richard. Here's Poole.
Here's a time that even though he didn't score him, it's an advantage to get him to 3rd because Poole can run pretty good. An infield hit or an error would score him, where otherwise at second he wouldn't score.
Poole's been retired twice now on fine plays by Stennett. Comebacker to the mound. Keeson, with a little help from a friend, takes care of Poole in the 5th. So for the Houston Astros, they get a 1-out double, but Ashby is left at 3rd. And now, after 5 from the Dome, it's our Pirates trailing the Astros, Houston leading 1-0. Friday, July 20th is the Pirates KDK double play disco party night. Following the Pirates game with the Houston Astros, all fans in attendance will go down on the field to disco. That's right, you'll be able to disco right on the surface at Three Rivers Stadium, and the party will last until midnight. You'll be entertained before and after the game by the Pittsburgh Disco Cheerleaders. That's Friday, July 20th. We come home after the All-Star break for that big homestand. Pirates KDK double play disco party immediately following the Pirates game with the Houston Astros. Harry Walker, you disco?
No, that's for the younger people. I never discoed when I was young, though. What was my bag much?
All right, here's Bruce Keeson leading off the 6th. We're down by a run to James Rodney Richard.
I'll tell you one thing, he wasn't cheated. He was having his cut.
Popped up to the second baseman, Howe. One away. This is our 7th meeting with the Astros this year. 5 of the first 6 have been decided by 1 run. And this one right now, no exception. It's a 1-0 Houston lead in the 6th inning. Final score, the Giants beat the Expos tonight 1-0. The run for San Francisco was on a solo home run by Mike Ivey in the 7th, his 12th of the year. And John Curtis was the San Francisco winner. Phillies and the Cubs are losing tonight. And the Bucks looking for a step up in the ladder. Omar Moreno 1 for 2. He singled to left field of the first inning.
He'll be trying to crowd him with the ball if he can. He can really come in there. Good sliding.
One out, Foley on deck.
He looked like he's taking all the way on that pitch, and I don't know why, because the first pitch was a strike, but he sure wasn't ready. Crank that gun up and get it ready. He's coming at you. Better not take one too close now, because that umpire might have given you a break there.
That's right. If he's going to level it out,
he'll give it to you right now if it's close, so you better be swinging.
Mr. Paul Pryor, who celebrated his 52nd birthday yesterday. 5 ball to right. Walling. 2 down. No, not Omar Moreno, by the way. Omar hit his first major league. 2 away. Here's Tim Foley. Tim is 0 for 2 in the ball game. He reached on a strikeout wild pitch situation in the 4th. 1-0 Houston leads. We're in the top of the 6th inning. And Lyons after the shortstop Reynolds. So the Pirates go down rather quickly in the top of the 6th inning. Astrodome, Houston, Texas. Houston leads 1-0. Saturday, July 21st is Kodak Camera Day at Three Rivers Stadium. All fans with the ticket to that game against the Houston Astros will be admitted onto the playing field to take pictures of their favorite Pirate stars. The photo session will last from 12:45 to 1:30, and all fans should enter the field through center field gate located under Gate C. That's Camera Day, July 21st, 12:45 to 1:30 on Saturday afternoon, right there in the field at Three Rivers Stadium. Now we get ready now for the last half of the 6th inning. Got a good ball game going. The Astros have the lead 1-0. Craig Reynolds scored the Astros run in the 4th. He was hit by a pitch, went to second on a hit and run ground out, and then scored on the Cabell single. That's the only run of the ball game. So the good pitching and the strong defense, very big part of this ball game. Bruce Keeson, 5-5 lifetime against Houston. He has never beaten the Astros in the Dome. He's never lost to Houston at Three Rivers. Right field, Stennett, who's been all over this place, makes the catch in shallow right, 1 away. Rennie Stennett made a couple of fine plays earlier in the ball game on ground balls off the bat of Terry Poole. And Stennett, who realized that there might have been an excess number of infielders when Madlock showed up, but now Rennie getting a chance to play and playing very well. Phil Garner out with a thumb injury. Boy, such an intense competitor, Rennie Stennett. Astros 1, Pirates nothing, last of the 6th. Cedeno 0 for 2. Batting .269 on the year. back up the middle. Stennett again out behind second, but this time no chance to throw Cedeno out.
He hit that ball on the end of the bat.
See if we can see it.
Way out in front on the ball. He just got lucky on it. That's what I was talking about. He's opening up so quickly. That's why he's not hitting his 300 he ought to hit.
Cedeno's on with one out. Stargell holding the runner on.
Here's the time this guy will be stealing, so he might well get ready. In the first 2 to 3 pitches, he'll go, I believe, unless he's hurt.
Cedeno has 23 stolen bases. He's got the advantage of the left-handed batter in that batter's box. 1-0 Houston leads last half of the 6th.
He didn't get a good lead the last time. He's not out there very far. Got a little bigger lead now. He's almost on the edge of the turf there.
Keesum's gone over there a couple of times now to keep Cedeno close.
He's a tough man to throw out. He can really explode. Got a bigger lead now. You can see it.
He's going. Oh, it started to go and came back. It's foul ball.
Might not got the rhythm you wanted to go on. 2-strike situation. Nobody, I mean, with 1 out, I don't think you'll try it with 2 strikes to feel you might pitch out on it. Sometimes with 2 outs, they'll do it and gamble, but with 1 out, I don't believe they'll do it.
They've got a right-handed batter, Cabell, up next. No, he's not going. Get 2. Stennett, Foley 1. First, double play.
Well, that's a quick double play because both those guys run well. Did a great job with it.
Stennett, Foley, and Stargell combined against the twin killing against the Astros. No runs, 1 hit, double play. So after 6 innings of play, quite a ball game, and Stennett's playing a pivotal part in this game. Astros lead at 1-0.
The next 3 innings are sponsored in part by Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And in part by Giant Eagle, bringing all the best to you. Well, we've got a good one going for you here tonight in the Astrodome. Not as good as you'd like if you're a Pirate fan because we're on the short end of a 1-0 game. But boy, we're seeing good pitching. We're seeing good plays in the field on both sides. And a tough, tight ball game with Houston leading at 1-0. They have out-hit the Pirates 5-3. There have been no errors in the game. And as we go here to the 7th, Dave Parker's going to lead it off. Milo Hamilton and Harry the Hat Walker to take you through to the finish, and there is a ball. Bounced it up there, and it's 1-0. Parker has lined to short and bounced to short. He's hit the ball hard both times up, but has 0 for 2 to show for it. He's 1 for 6 in the series, 2 RBIs. See if he can start something going here with Stargell and Milner to follow. Foul down the right side. Well, Harry, both of these pitchers are doing some job here tonight.
Pitched great. They've had good control, good stuff. Both of them had good breaking ball along with a good fastball. Keeson, of course, has had that good sinker going for him with a good breaking ball. And, of course, James Rodney just overpowered you with a great fastball and a very quick slider.
1-1 to the Cobra. Started after it. They asked for an appeal. Third base umpire rings up the strike. 1-2.
I got that play. I argued for years to get that umpire to help this guy back to plate. Took a long time in the All-Star break to finally decide to try. Umpires felt it showed them up if they had somebody.
2-2.
They all admitted if they all did it wouldn't be so bad. But if I do it and I ask for it, nobody else does it, then it makes me feel like I'm not adequate. But they just get blocked out sometimes.
It's the toughest, really, call for them to make. There's a drive to center. Center fielder back. Ball going. It's way in the seat. Way up into center field, about 8 or 10 rows. Parker has made it a brand new game on one blast there. You talk about hitting the ball downtown. That might have been out to the NASA Space Center, Harry. He really jacked one, didn't he?
Must be great to have that kind of power. Good Lord, he hit that ball. The minute he hit it, you knew it was gone. But he hit it dead straight away. That's what you call a real power hitter.
Look at that swing.
He transferred all that weight right into that ball, too.
Now it's a 1-1 game. Here's Captain Willie. Ball outside.
Here's the one guy can make that one look like a bunt.
He's done it twice on this trip. But that wasn't exactly just over the fencer.
But
there's a drive.
Pretty good
way out into left center. Going. Get out of here.
Told you
betcha. Hey, Hat, give me 5. Now all of a sudden it's 2-1. Bombs away in Houston. Holy Toledo. Put on a show, buccos. Put on a show. Don't crack a smile now, Captain. You don't want to do that, but wait till he gets into that dugout. They'll be all over him like... Look at this. You think there's a handshake or two waiting for Captain Willie? Boy, you talk about opposite field power. Both of these drives were hit right on the nose.
That's what you really call home run power. When the average ball player has to hit the ball within 60 feet of the foul line, he's just not in the class with these guys. They can hit the ball hard anywhere.
All right, the home run for Parker was his 16th. The home run for Stargell was his 16th. Parker now with 53 ribbies, the captain with 38, and they haven't let him sit down yet. They still had him up congratulating him. Now here's Milner. Well, after those 2 bombs, I'm surprised that pitch was that far away from Milner. What about you, Hat?
Well, today they just won't allow them to do it.
1 ball and 1 strike.
I tell you, if Milner gets a fastball a little below the belt in the middle end, he can hit one out.
Boy, oh boy, what a show. Fly ball out into left center. Pretty well hit. Might be in the gap. It is in the gap. And Milner is going to be on. He's going to try for 3. He's going to be in there. Boy, the throw from the outfield was handled very poorly.
On recovering the ball off the wall, they mishandled the ball, too. They have 3 shots, boy, I'll tell you.
And we're going to get another look at it here. Let's see what they do with this and don't handle it well, Harry.
See them kicking the ball around? That's what did it.
And now Cruz throws a lollipop that nobody can handle.
That's a bad thing for an outfielder. He just gets the ball in. You've got to pick up your target and try to hit him with the ball.
Here's Mel Wright, the pitching coach. Now, you talk about 3 hits for total bases. There's 3 guys just put 11 bases on the board.
That's hard to beat. 3 shots, too.
Bert Roberget is the pitcher down there. Have you seen him at all? We've never seen him, Harry.
No, I haven't seen him either.
He's a stranger in town. All right, now, runner third, nobody out. Infield up all the way around. Madlock, the batter.
You make this ball go through. The infield's in. You be sure the ball go through. Anything he hits, you'd rather see him go back to the bag so a line drive won't catch him leaning. If it goes through or fly ball, he can tag up.
Smash. Now it's 3-0. 4 straight hits. Harry, remember what I told you before the game? We've got the kind of a club that gives James Rodney fits, and there's just something about it. If somebody asked you off the street today, how does James Rodney Richard do against the Pittsburgh Pirates, and just off the top of your head you'd say, well, he's probably got to at worst be 1 or 2 over 500. He came in here 3-7 against us.
Well, he knows that too. But I'll tell you one thing, for the first 6 innings, nobody has pitched in it better than James Rodney. But he got the ball over the plate to those 2 big guys. Another thing, they begin to get your rhythm. They've seen you a couple of times. They get the time in you. You're throwing the same speed all the time. No off speeds to break up the rhythm.
All right, Madlock gets his 2nd hit of the game and drove in the 3rd run. Throw over, not close. Now you've got Ed Ott up here. He's celebrated a couple times tonight on that 28th birthday. A great throw, which was a big throw to pick off Cruz at 3rd early. Then he got a double into the left field corner in the 5th inning. Keep it going, Otter. Celebrate all night long, pal. We won't care. 1 ball, no strikes.
That's something we're talking about, the pitcher throwing hard. That's why they need sometimes an off-speed pitch to keep that pitch a little honest, make the fastball more effective. Those hitters begin to get your rhythm, and if you make mistakes, they'll get to you.
All right, Ott batting. There's nobody out in this inning, and 3 runs are in. The ball game's done a complete about face. Bill Robinson loosened up down in the bullpen for the last few moments. Might be that now that we've gotten the lead, might see him go to left field. He's bothered a little bit by a bad ankle. but he can play, and we might see him when we go to the bottom of the inning. But right now, we're looking for more runs. Down low, and Madlock gave him a little stutter step. If he might be going, that brought Ashby up out of there.
He moves quick, boy, when he comes out of there. I'll say that for him.
Harry, I've talked about Madlock in other games. I'd like to get your opinion on it because this is the first time you've seen him with us last night and tonight. But looking at Madlock, you would not figure, looking at him, that he would be a threat to go. But over the years, he's been a good base stealer. He's deceptive, isn't he?
Yes, you kind of forget about him sometimes, and he knows when to go, and he'll catch you by surprise. But, of course, the guy back to the plate, Ashby's been throwing so well. Right now, with nobody out, you're not going to challenge him in a situation. 2 outs, you might, figuring that somebody leading off, you know, but if the pitcher's coming up, you'd let him hit. This situation here, nobody out, I don't think he'll run.
Atlanta just beat the Cubs 6-5. There's a bouncer right side. Cedeno off the edge of his glove. No play anywhere. He threw the ball into left field. Madlock's going to come from third. There's a place of where Cedeno should have eaten the baseball. He never had a play anywhere. He should have never let the ball go out of his right hand.
That's inexperience. That's the thing that you'll find, that he didn't realize where he was. He was frustrated with the ball when he missed it. He didn't have control of it.
All right, it'll go as a hit, and it'll be an error on the first baseman, allowing Madlock to get over to third. It's the first error of the game. Runners at first and third. Nobody out. Rennie Stennett's got a chance to fatten the cat here. Boy, you talk about a golden opportunity night for the Pirates. Montreal has been beaten 1-0. The Cubs ahead of us have just lost 6-5. The Phillies are losing 7-3. There's Bill Burden setting things up as far as Cedeno, what to do with the runner at first dead on.
Well, what you do with a man on third, you'll make him draw the throw. If they go for the double play, he's got to make them throw the ball to the plate.
Up high, ball one. So you talk about a night where you could really reap the harvest here. This is one of those nights. This is the night when you really take a look at the scoreboard. And we've got a 5-team race going. Throw over doesn't get him.
The only thing you have to watch at third base is a line drive. You don't have to break quick on this ball. Really, you wouldn't go, except that you know they'll go for a double play in this situation. And you'd rather have the one out at the plate than the double play.
A little soft roller past the mound. Howes got the only play. Gets Stennett, but Madlock scores. And it's 4-0. Ott moves into second. Sten will get credit for a base hit. A little high-topped roller towards second. Pitcher came over to take the throw. Scored 4-1. Look at that bench. Talk about happiness. There's some guys down there jumping with joy.
Well, this club's got the fever. They've got what it takes, I think, to win. I think they can come on. They've got good pitching now and a good bullpen. They've got a few guys on the bench hurt, but they're going to get well. And even the guys that are coming in the game are contributing so much. Stennett made 2 great plays, even though that ball was not a hit. It put a run in, put him in scoring position.
Swing and a miss by Keeson as he bats here. There are 4 runs across for the Buccos. The first 4 guys up have scored. Parker and Stargell did it the easy way. They hit it over the fence. Did they hit him? Holy Toledo, did they bust him. There's a strike. Throw down. Runner got back. Threw that ball into the dirt a little bit, and that allowed Ott to get back. I'll tell you one thing, Ashby's not bashful with that hose of his, is he?
Well, he's got a good arm. Watch him release the ball, come out of there. He really drives into the throw. I tell you, it wasn't too far off either.
Just enough down to the dirt where Reynolds had to take it out of there. There's a ball off the...
Come on over here.
Look at that. Off the edge of Cabell's glove, and Ott's going to come over. Now, a couple of guys in the outfield almost bump one another, Poole and Cruz. So Ott is over to third. With that play right in front of him, Ott, of course, couldn't move until he saw the ball really go off the glove. Then he had to come over. Now watch that. Now it's going to bounce by the shortstop who was coming in behind. Now Ott will come over to third.
He stumbles right here at the bag, though.
Yeah, look at that. 2 guys colliding. It goes as a base hit for Keeson. It's our 9th hit. You realize we had 3 hits coming to this inning? 6 hits in this inning. 4 runs are in. Now Omar Moreno. Boy, if he could deliver here.
Infield will probably come in. They don't think they can double Omar. I'm surprised the shortstop is staying this deep, but of course on the AstroTurf, the ball travels so fast that you can cheat an extra 4 or 5 feet.
Yeah, you play it differently.
Here's the time he needs that fly ball or a base hit for him.
So James Rodney Richard, who had it all his own way for 6 innings, is having a rough, tough inning here. Popped up out into shallow right center. Howe out. Howe makes the play. Now they're going to send the runner home, and it's going to be out at the plate. Howe made an excellent throw.
He made a fine play. It was worth a gamble. He caught the ball over his head running away. He had to take a perfect throw right to the plate.
Boy, Howe just made an excellent play. I want to tell you, perfect throw. And Ashby had the plate blocked on out. He could not crash through. It's a double play, 4-2. It's 4 runs on 6 hits, 1 error, and 1 man left. So it's turned around. We're in the middle of the 7th. Pirates 4, Astros 1. On Thursday, July 19th, right after the All-Star break, the Pirates in Houston will meet in the Pirates' first home twilight doubleheader of the season. This will also be Bronze Spread night when 8 Town Talk rappers brought to Gate D equal 1 free ticket to the game for youngsters 16 and under. That's the Pirates and Astros doubleheader Thursday, July 19th. 8 bronze rappers brought to Gate D equals 1 free ticket. Game time for the first one, 6:05. Chuck Tanner's made a couple of changes, and that's not one of them. In fact, we can wait to look at the changes, Brian, because everybody likes good music. Oh, the music ended. Funny how you enjoy things when you're enjoying a game, isn't it? That's the fella trying to get loose in left field, Bill Robinson, coming off that bench, so he's doing everything to be ready. Bill Robinson, number 28 in left. At first base, John Milner, number 34, coming in from left field. Willie Stargell has left the game. Stargell had a ball leave the ballpark earlier. Oh, boy. Those 2 home runs.
Super.
Even as much as James Rodney Richards been around, those 2 shots had to shake him.
I'll tell you one thing. You've seen some exciting baseball. They made a great play on that fly ball. And as you say, they had to send him. It was worth a chance. It took a perfect throw, and everything was just right for it. But that's the way you got to play aggressive baseball and force that other ball play.
Yeah, it's amazing, and don't let anything take anything away from Art Howe. He made a brilliant play, but it's amazing he could get that much on the throw, going back the way he did and catching the ball out in right center. But, boy, he made an amazing throw. This is Cabell. He's 1 for 2. He had an RBI single in the 4th inning. Bruce Keeson working now with a 3-run advantage. Buster's got to feel like he's in hog heaven. We haven't scored many runs for him. He's leading 4-1 at the moment. We're in the 7th inning. Oh, he cracked the bat off right in his hand, and Foley's going to take charge in shallow left center, and he makes the play. It's the 6th time this year that the Pirates have had back-to-back homers. 3rd time we've had 6 hits in 1 inning. That'll bring up Walling.
This is a big time for that pitcher to really take and really let out, because after your club come back for you, put you out in front. That's the time to come back and sort of put the cap on it. The other ball club is a little down. If you let them score, they get back up. Ooh, what a change-up.
Boy, oh, boy. We've got our bullpen working. We'll take a look at that when time allows. There it is. Grant Jackson, 23, the lefty, 15, Enrique Romo, the right-hander. 1 ball, 1 strike. Montreal has lost to the Giants. The Cubs have lost to the Braves. He bunts it. Keeson's got to come off and fire. He did. Boy, he let her fly, too, didn't he?
He certainly did. And that's what you love to see right now, of him to get those first 3 hitters out, get on the bench, relax, let the other club feel like they just had a rough time and got hurt. But if they come back and score 2 or 3 runs, their momentum goes up and you go down.
In the 8th inning, the Padres lead the Phillies 7-3. Cincinnati leads the Cardinals 3-1. Boy, it isn't very many nights when you've got a chance to do something with all the clubs around you like we have tonight. That's what happens when you're playing out of your division. if that other division helps you and you're the only one that wins that night, boy, that is really the time to do it. A strike here to Art Howe, who's 1 for 2. I don't care if it is just the halfway mark. This is a big ball game.
Every ball game's a big one, I'll tell you.
Bouncer third. Easy inning for Buster because Madlock's going to gun him. Howe is out third to first. So Buster came out and did just what you said. Come right out after him. 3 up and 3 down. We've played 7 innings. It's the Buccos 4 and the Astros 1. Well, here we go again. Genevieve Stewart from Hendersonville is probably saying, now's the inning. After Parker and Stargell did what they did in the 7th, well, that's the way the old ball bounces, Genevieve Stewart, or maybe it's Genevieve. Whichever it is, she knows who it is because she's from Hendersonville, and she's going to root for the Bucks here in the 8th inning because if somebody hits one for the Buccos, she's going to win $1,100 worth of Giant Eagle groceries. And as we have moved to the 8th inning, Tim Foley is stepping in. Foley tonight is 0 for 3. The Pirates are leading 4-1. We had a 4-1 lead last night and then had to hang on for dear life. I wouldn't mind getting another run.
Well, it certainly helped.
Foley tonight is 0 for 3. James Rodney opens up with a breaking ball. He's due up second in the 8th inning. Foul back.
This will be his last inning. They'll let him go this inning. But James Rodney pitches great balls. But like I said earlier, somewhere in the ball game, he had something happen to him, makes bad pitches or gets a little wild. You usually get one inning to get a crack at him. And that's why that he's not the big consistent winner.
That's why he's 7-8 on a ball club that's in first place. Oh, he went after a high heater, didn't he?
He throws so hard you commit a little bit quick before you see where the ball's at.
That is his 6th strikeout and gives him 150 for the year. He's got a shot at 300 again. That's going to bring up Dave Parker, who started the 7th inning by driving one a mile. Somebody drove out there to get that ball. If it wasn't an odd or an even day for him, they might have to wait till tomorrow to go get it. Parker 1 for 3, and if you chop it up into singles, he'd be 4 for 4. George Throop is loosening in their bullpen. He's a right-hander. 0-1.
Good stuff. You know, last night he only got 1 hit, but it was a big one to driving 2 runs.
You bet it was.
Hard to stop this man.
And he started the rally tonight by jacking one to deep center. Look out. Boy, oh boy. Is he strong or not? Is he one of the strongest you've ever seen?
One of the strongest, one of the most complete ball players in the game. He does everything better than average.
Look at the guys waving the towels. There's Bibby, last night's winner. Mike Easler, Bill
He can
Madlock.
laugh tonight, I'll tell you that, and I don't blame him. Had a great night last night.
Yes, he did. He gave us a real lift.
He sure did, right when you needed it here in this ballpark. Oh, took a little off of that pitch.
7 strikeouts for James Rodney. That's another thing that makes this the great game that it is, Harry. A guy took him downtown 15 minutes ago. He comes back and strikes him out.
Well, James Rodney can do that. He can make you look bad, but just like Parker, though, he can make you look bad, too.
This is Bill Robinson batting for the first time tonight. Remember, he came on in the last inning, and Stargell left the game, and Milner moved from left to first base. Sat him right down. And Genevieve Stewart of Hendersonville, you're still our Giant Eagle home run sweepstakes contestant at home. $1,100 if Robbie Belts won here.
He's capable of doing it.
Yep, he leads us in home runs with 18. 3-0.
He might be hitting on this 3-0 pitch right here, too.
I'd bet on it. But it's got to be his pitch, too, and he took that one. Good eye. Some big guys don't like a green light on a 3-0, do they?
Sam Musial didn't, neither did Boyer or Bill Weiss. They felt like that they changed their thinking, and their whole thinking was not the way they wanted it. Very few guys are real good 3-0 hitters. Simmons with the Cardinals does a good job with it.
Johnny Bench is a good 3-0
yes,
hitter.
He is. But you have to be selective and look for your ball in a zone.
This is Milner, 1 for 3. He tripled in that big 7th inning when 4 Pirates crossed the pay station. 9th inning, Reds have the Cardinals down 6-1. 9th inning at Philly. Padres still have a 7-3 lead over Philadelphia.
The Cincinnati ball club is moving a little bit.
Yes, they are. They go to within 5.5 if they hold on and we hold on. And just a week ago, they were 10 games out. That'd be some week, wouldn't it?
Sure would. That's what you said makes baseball. It can happen. There's so many good ball clubs. One of them gets hot, they can do that.
Look at this. They'll never get him, and that's a play that Bill Robinson works as good or better than any player I've ever seen. He nonchalanted him. Robbie just took off. Stolen base for Robinson gives him 6 for the year and 8 tries. Now Milner got a chance to get him home. The walk and a stolen base after 2 away. That ball gets away, and Robbie's going to come to third.
That can happen with James Rodney. His ball moves so much.
Pass ball. Now, they're going to have a little conference. Bill Burden not jumping up and down with any glee right now. I interviewed Bill Burden the first time in here this year, and I said to him, this club now is beginning to reflect your personality, and it is. In other words, he and Tal Smith put together the kind of a club that Bill likes to have, and boy, it's paid off. They have really played the best baseball this franchise has ever had.
Sure has. Bill does a great job with it.
Ball 3.
When I managed the Cardinals in 1955, believe it or not, but there's 5 managers in the big leagues off of that club. I doubt if any club's ever had that many. And Burden is one of them. Boyer, Frazier, Hemus.
That's right, little Sally Hemus. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Grammars.
Isn't that something?
Every shot, man.
That's a big run, brother. The one we talked about coming to this inning. Robinson. And Robinson with that stolen base. Now, if he's still sitting over on first, that hit doesn't mean anything right there. And Bill Burden's on his way out. James Rodney, who's going to be 2 up second in the inning anyway. I wonder if he'll do a flip-flop here. In other words, if you bring one pitcher on, do you then bring on another one
well, if
in a hurry?
If he brings him in, he might be satisfied just to get this inning over.
That's 10 hits. Milner getting the RBI to make it 5-1 now. And George Stroop, here's another newcomer. We've never seen him. And James Rodney, oh, I've seen it happen to him in this park, I'll bet you a dozen times over the years. Be rolling, you'd think you couldn't touch him, swinging with a broom or a snow shovel, and all of a sudden, bang.
Yep, he's a guy that usually you get the one good shot at him. Get those pitches where he's not quite as quick. They get the timing him a little better. And he gets the ball a little better where they can reach it a little better.
So George Stroop has come on.
He doesn't have the off-speed pitch to mix as well as you'd like to see him do, because that would allow him not have to throw that fastball for 9 innings so hard he could save himself a little bit.
All right, as you see the right-hander Stroop warming it up, we're going to remind you, if you have ever bought a home from Ryan, you can receive free tickets for the Pirates-Cardinals game on Thursday, August the 2nd at Three Rivers. You just register before July 15th at any Ryan model home in the Pittsburgh area. Here's the last play with Milner's swing. He's got a good one here.
That's his pitch, boy, right there.
Boy, right in his wheelhouse.
Oh, he doesn't miss those too many times.
So James Rodney is gone. He leaves with a score 5-1 against him. And there was the diving Art Howe, who just couldn't head it off. The Stroop is on in the 8th inning. Let's see what he's been doing for him. This is only his 7th game, all in relief. 1 win, no losses, no saves, an ERA of 5. Group in relief of James Rodney Richard. And we've got a runner at first, John Milner. Madlock the batter. Madlock really laid some lumber on that ball in the 7th inning. With that infield up, he just snapped it through there. He drove in run 3 and scored run 4. It's 5-1 now. Fouled it off up to the right side.
See, he did something there with the ball. That ball moved out of the way. He went with a pitch. He had that knack of getting the big end of the bat going to the ball. He's one of the secrets being a good hitter.
He's 4 for 7 in this series now. Strike 2. The Cincinnati Reds beat the Cardinals 6-1. All we're waiting for now is some good news from Philadelphia, where the Padres had the Phillies down 7-3 in the top of the 9th inning. Last night, Madlock evidently got to get a different bat. Last night, the Padres had him down, and then the Phillies came up with a 5-run 9th and beat them. So this would really make the day complete if the Padres could hang on at Philadelphia.
I tell you this, I come up here to relax, and I'm sitting up here excited, jumping on every pitch. But that's why it's a good game, I guess. Even though I'm sitting up here doing this, I'm trying to get that ball to fall, to get it through the hole.
No balls, 2 strikes, chases him back, doesn't get it. Genevieve Stewart, we haven't forgotten about you, honey. Madlock would love to make you remember it, because we got $1,100 worth of Giant Eagle groceries if he gets his first home run as a Pirate. We had a couple of home runs in the 7th that may still be going. Parker hit one in the center field seats, and then Captain Willie hit a line drive to left center. Fouled outside the bag at third. Still strike 2.
You know, the ball players always kid about guys like Parker and Willie. Say, geez, those guys ought to be in a league by themselves. It's dangerous to put them out here with regular guys. They really can tattoo that ball.
Oh, I want to tell you.
I've seen Willie hit some long balls. How about the old park? He must have hit 8 of them on that roof in Pittsburgh, the old Forbes Field.
Well, I think Jack Berger's got a plaque in his office that shows the balls that were hit there, and they just keep climbing off of his bat. And he strikes him out, and there were no home runs hit during this Giant Eagle sweepstakes inning, but no one ever loses here. Our contestant, Genevieve Stewart of Hendersonville, will receive a certificate for 10 Tasty Cake family packs and an assortment of daily juice products available at your grocer. Our next Giant Eagle sweepstakes on Saturday will be worth $1,200. In the inning, the Bucks get a run on only 1 hit. But now, in the middle of the 8th, Keeson will go to the mound with a 4-run advantage. It's Pirates 5, Astros 4. Well, Grandma, I hope you're watching. They've told you about this banner, and there it is from Mount Morris. And once again, it's something about this Astrodome that draws a lot of people here. I remember over the years in coming here since '65, you get more notes from people who are following your club here than in any other park we go to.
Well, it's a good town, and you got the recreation area right here at the ballpark to where that you can be here. What stars are you doing? Putting new stars on?
He just, that's Jim Bibby. He got a star last night for winning the game, and he was just making sure. There's Bert Blyleven, the bearded one. Looks like the Grizzly, doesn't he? There's little Matt Alexander from Shreveport. Oh, he's that 25th man, and that 25th man has to know his job. He has to be a special kind of a guy. Keep himself ready.
That's correct. He's got to work harder than anybody on the field.
All right, now here we are. Ashby against Keeson. Bouncer right side. Stennett on a great big hop off the AstroTurf, and it's 1 away in the bottom of the 8th. Landestoy is going to be the pinch hitter. Remember, he played shortstop last night for them. Rafael Landestoy hitting 190. No homers, 8 RBIs. In last night's game, he's batting here for the pitcher, by the way. Landestoy last night went 0 for 4. He's 0 for 5 against us for the year. Burden took a little heat in the press here today for letting Baldwin hit last night instead of Leonard. But Burden says, hey, I just wanted him to make contact. They felt good about him. So I guess when you're in first place, you can't please them all every night, can you?
Yeah, it's tough.
Ball. Don Robinson, who got the news today that he's going to have to do a little special exercising, but should be ready for that weekend of doubleheaders with the Braves. There's a line drive right at Madlock. Boy,
that's a big out right there.
You bet it is, because if that goes over him, that's probably a double.
Well, you'd like to get that momentum going like this. He had a good inning a while ago. He did a great job. He's come back again to do it again now, so this is great for him.
Here's Terry Poole, who's still got to be talking to himself about those two plays that Stennett made on him in the first and the third. Too good of plays by a second baseman as we've seen all year. There's an off-speed floater. What a spot to deliver that one.
Well, he's used this off and on. That's what I talked about James Rodney. He has not used anything to keep the batter a little off balance.
And tries to hit that corner, but just misses with it. Now, that San Diego ninth has been up for a while. Wouldn't that be something if they were getting a couple more? There's that off-speed again. Just turned it over a little that time, didn't he?
He sure did, but he got him out in front a little bit.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Poole, nobody on, 2 away. Bruce Keeson pitching another fine ball game, and he's got some runs to work with tonight. Had that ball by him, didn't he?
Yeah, because he's thrown him 2 good change-up. He's got him thinking just a little bit, I might get it. Takes just a little edge away from that swing to where if you don't ever see it, you can sort of glide a little quicker, knowing you're not going to get anything but the fastball, and pretty soon you get his rhythm. This keeps that rhythm broke up.
Cleveland got way out in front of Kansas City and then had to hang on for a 9-8 victory. Line drive, left field, drop in for a base hit. Robinson plays it on the first bounce.
That's what makes this guy a pretty good hitter. There was a good pitch, low and outside, lower part of the plate. He reached out in the big end of the bat, went for the ball. He didn't try to pull it. Watch this pitch. You'll see it right here. There it is. There's what I'm talking about. Not that I want everybody to do that, but on situations like that, you have to compete with whatever the pitch is. And not enough hitters will do that. He was in no position he could afford to take the ball. So he's up there guarding the plate, and when the ball sunk, he went with it.
Had a little tail on it, and he just took it right to the opposite side. Fly ball to left field, and that's going to be caught. Pinch hitter right there was Julio Gonzalez batting, and he got the fly ball out there where Bill Robinson could handle it, and the side has been retired. And so they get no runs with 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. We've played 8, 1 more mile for Buster Keeson. Wouldn't it be something if we could take 2 in a row here and keep it going? Right now, as we go to the 9th inning, Pirates 5, Astros 1. Well, there's a Pirate dugout that's jumping. Rennie Stennett making some great plays here tonight, driving in a run. John Candelaria keeping everybody loose. Boy, that's what the club that's winning can do for you. Look at this. We got some signs here for some folks. Tom and Ken Jones, former Pittsburgh residents, living now in Houston, and they're always here rooting for the Bucks. Doug Kennedy makes sure of that. Look at that bench.
You know, the big play, like you say, when Stennett made those plays, if he doesn't make that, that could give James Rodney a little more momentum, an extra run or two to turn the ball game around. Those kind of plays get you up and keeps you alive.
Roberge, an ERA, a good one, a 1.20 in 10 games, all in relief. 2 wins, no losses, 2 saves. Ott comes up empty on the first offering. Now here's another fella, 2 pitchers in a row that we have never seen before. Ott's had a double and a single and gunned down a runner at third. Boy, what an out that was. Oh, he jacked up on that. We got the pitch up for Ott, and he hopped on it. The play that we're talking about was on Cruz in the 2nd inning. He'd led off with a double. Cabell bounced to second and got him over to third. And, boy, I tell you, Ott let the ball fly to third. It was down there before you knew it. I think it handcuffed Cruz a little. Popped out behind second. Art Howe takes charge with the shortstop Gonzalez, who just came on in the inning, and the center fielder Poole right behind him. So it is 1 away here in the 9th inning, and that will bring up Rennie Stennett. Let's look to their 9th a moment, because they will have Cedeno, Cruz, and Cabell up.
Well, that's where you'd rather see it, because you'd rather see them come up, and even though they get on, they're still in trouble. Then you're getting to the back end of that lineup to try to drive them in.
Rennie Stennett make that 0 for 3. There's a looping liner going to drop and spin over the line. Rennie's headed for second. He's going to make it because the momentum took Walling over the line. He really couldn't get that much on the throw. So Stennett gets his first hit tonight, his second hit in the series. He drove in a run with a bounce to the second baseman that was a slow hopper that had a couple of loops in it, and it was the only play Howe had to throw to first. So it's a hit off Roberts. It's our 11th hit in the game, and it brings up Keeson, who gets a hand from the Houston crowd because they realize he's pitched a heck of a game.
He sure has. A beautiful ball game. One of the better games he's pitched this year, I'll bet you.
You bet it is. He had a one-hitter, flirted with a no-hitter against the Padres, but a little different pitching against a club here that's got over 50 victories and leading their division. Runner at second, one out. That's all right, Buster. Don't worry about it.
Like you say, though, those two great plays that Stennett made in the play at third was outstanding.
Good news from Philadelphia. The Padres beat the Phillies 7-3. What a night to cash in all your chips. Strike two. Cardinals, Montreal, Cubs, and Phillies all lost. Oh, that's a night when you got to go to the Paymasters window. No balls and 2 strikes here. Pirates leading 5-1. We're in the 9th. Keeson had a base hit in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 3. That was an inning. We sent 8 men up. 6 of them got hits. Struck him out, but don't worry about a thing, Buster. Your job is to get out on that mound in the bottom of the inning. First strikeout for Roberts. 9th strikeout of a Pirate in the game.
Sometimes in a situation like this, when I've got a pitcher hitting, he's got one more inning to go with a lead like this, I really don't want him running. If he gets a base hit, just trot. A lot of fans will sometimes wonder why he's not running hard. That's like pitching an extra inning sometimes or more. You'd rather for him to take 3 cuts and sit down than to hit a dribbler and run hard to first base and get thrown out.
Especially when he's looking at the hitters that are coming up in the 9th that we talked about. The 3, 4, 5 hitters, Cedeno, Cruz, and Cabell. All right, here's Omar Moreno, 1 for 4 tonight. Had a base hit to start the game. He chopped it over the third baseman's head. Took a strike. Oh, called it a ball, didn't he? Hey, that was,
they're trying to pitch him in on his hand, trying to make him pull the ball.
You know, some of his biggest hits this year have been pulling it, and oddly enough, against left-handers. A lot of his RBIs are against lefties. Look out. You got a play on there. Oh, that bounced right up. I hope Rennie's all right.
What you'll do is against the left-hander sometimes, you'll be trying to wait to hit the fastball to the opposite field, and when they throw the breaking ball, you'll be out in front a little bit with the whole ball club shift around, and the ball hitting the right field corner gives you a lot of doubles and triples for you.
And you know, we talked last night about when Moreno got his 100th hit, that he didn't do it into September in the 130th game last year. Now, and takes a strike. And his 34 RBIs equal his highest ever in the big league. So he is just headed toward his finest year. Average-wise, driving in runs. Got a chance to beat last year's stolen base record, which was a new Pirate record, 71.
He's out in front opening up. He took a pitch I'd love to have seen him hit before. It was over the plate a little more. That ball, he took a little off, and he had turned his body and completely got out in front too much on it.
Their third pitcher. They've used James Rodney Richard, Throop, and Roberts. Roberts, he faked it back, but nobody was covering. Milwaukee beat Toronto 2-1. 7th inning, Minnesota leading Detroit 3-0. 7th inning, Texas and the White Sox tied at 3. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Omar with a runner at second, Rennie Stennett. Popped it up, left side. Enos Cabell there. Side retired, but the Buccos still have a shot at doing it 2 games in a row here to Houston in the Dome. So we need to hold the Bucks and cash in those chips we were talking about with all the other teams in the division above us or right around us going to the loss column already. So Buster Keeson will head to the hill with this score. Pirates 5, Houston 1. Yeah, some of the gang from Slippery Rock, huh? That's right. Beat 'em Bucks, they say. Well, that's what could happen right here. Keeson's 3 outs away from doing it. Our bullpen is already working. Pirates are leading 5-1. We've got Jackson and Enrique Romo throwing in the pen, and Cesar Cedeno 1 for 3 to lead it off. Strike. Very important right here to get that first hitter.
You got to make everybody swing the bat. You got a 4-run lead. You got to challenge him.
Strike 2. Boy, now there's the name of pitching. Went outside with the first one, came inside there, moved that ball around, changed the speeds, keep the hitter off stride. And there's Bruce Keeson. You talk about deep in concentration, brother. He's tighter than a banjo string right now. He knows that he's got a chance to keep us rolling here on this trip.
There it is. Perfect pitch.
Oh,
Going outside.
Man, oh, man. Did he give him 3 pitches that were right in the right location or not, Hat?
That's where he wanted that ball, because if you get the ball inside, he hit 2 of them last night. Look at this pitch, if you can see it.
Look at Buster. I got him.
That'll get a lot of guys out with that pitch.
All right, Jose Cruz, 1 for 3. Come on, Bruce Keeson, do your thing. Turned it over a little bit for him that time, something off of it, and that'll be down in the seats foul, and it's strike 1.
They'll do that with Cruz. He's a good fastball hitter. He hits the balls straight away, but you can't get him out front with an off-speed pitch.
No balls, 1 strike. Keeson's gone all the way against James Rodney Richard, Throop, and Roberge. Keeson is trying for his 2nd complete game. The other was the 1-hitter against the Padres. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bottom of the 9th inning with nobody on and 1 down. They won 2-1 Sunday in the 2nd game of the doubleheader on Stargell's blast. Won here last night 4-3. 2-1. Leading here 5-1 with 2 outs to go in the Dome, and boy, if they could hang on and have Blyleven ready tomorrow night against Joe Niekro. Bouncer right side. Now the pitcher's got to get over. The backhand toss, and he got him. Great little toss by Milner, and give Keeson credit. He didn't hesitate. He went right off to that first base spot.
That's not a simple routine play. They have a lot of action. First baseman has to handle the ball perfectly to get it up where you can pick it up. There it is. They practice that play in spring training by the hour. Pitchers go through that where they can do it blindfolded. That's the reason.
All right, John Milner made the good play, did a tumbling act after he let her fly, and Keeson got over there to take the throw. We have seen some marvelous baseball here tonight. Any spectator that didn't like this ball game, well, there's something missing in your makeup, because this
got to be a Houston fan. Is that it?
Gets a quick strike on Cabell, who's 1 for 3. He's driven in their only run. He did it in the 4th inning. Fouled off. Well, we said at the top that they passed out the gold Stargell stars to Bibby and Keeson make that to Colby last night, and that tonight it was time for Buster to shine, and shine he has. He's just pitched one heck of a ball game. Struck out 3.
He's become a pitcher now, not just thrower. He's learned to use his off-speed pitch along with his sinker and his slider. By having those 3 pitches, he's kept these hitters off balance.
And you know, they say necessity is the mother of invention. That bad fingernail made him go to that off-speed pitch more, and it's made him a better-looking pitcher.
Well, it keeps him stronger. You know, you can get by throwing a few of those instead of having to throw everything you've got into your fastball and your slider. The changeup allows you not to use that energy as much.
All right, no balls, 2 strikes. Let's see if he's got him measured.
Up and in or down the way, but right now, just don't hit him.
Tapped it foul. Went down a little crossfire motion that time.
Ball's a little outside for him. But right now, he just got to go get him.
Walling would be next. Buster hasn't walked anybody. He hit a batter, and oddly enough, that's the guy who scored the only Houston run. Looked like to me he was just trying to pitch Reynolds tight and back him off that plate, and it just got away from him.
That's right.
You're not throwing at anybody in a scoreless game.
Not in that part of the game.
Checked his swing, fouled it to the screen.
Have another pitch a little bit outside, a little bit higher, but still throwing good. A good rhythm, still has good speed.
Need another out to get the Bucks their 43rd victory to go with 38 losses. We'll move into a tie for third with Philadelphia. We move a game behind the second-place Cubs. And there it is, folks. Bruce Kison. The handshakes will be coming from every direction. And well, they should. He ended it with a flourish, a strikeout on Cabell. Everybody there to greet him. He just pitched one of the best games you want to see against a contending ball club. And he has done it against this good Houston team that's been in front for over 70 days in the Western Division chase. And I'll tell you this, he fell behind 1-0 in the game, but he just wouldn't give in to them. And James Rodney Richard, who looked like a world beater for 6 innings, boy, when the roof fell in, it fell right to the basement. And there is that happy bench, and Bruce Kison, I guess the happiest guy down there, and why wouldn't he be? Because he has just pitched a marvelous game. We finally got him some runs to work with. This is the pitch that ended the ball game, and he just cut right over it. And as a result, he ended the game with a flourish, and he getting that strikeout. It was his 4th of the game. And now let's talk a little bit about this ball game. We talked to Harry Walker about the fact that James Rodney, for those 6 innings, looked like a world beater. And we thought maybe the 2 home runs that were back-to-back by Parker going to deep center and then Stargell taking him a little to the opposite side to deep left center might have shaken him a little, because then we went on to get some more, and, boy, we rattled his cage pretty good in that inning.
Of course, you got 2 of the best guys in the world to do that, Parker and Stargell. But James Rodney pitched a great game for 6 innings, but you got a couple of balls where the big guys could get to it, and you got to say that's got to shake anybody up.
Sent 8 men to the plate in that inning. You came up with 6 hits. You scored 4 times, turned the game around completely, took the momentum away from Houston, and especially the big right-hander Richard.
It was a great game from a lot of standpoints. You had great pitching. Keeson batted him all the way, pitch for pitch, changed speeds well, good control, but you had great defense with Stinnett, which stopped the run. A great play from the catcher picking the guy off a third. Those things are what makes a contender and a winner. Everybody contributed tonight. Good defense, good pitching, and the big guys picked each other up when they had to have it.
You know, when you go back and think about those early plays, we referred to them as the game went on, but the fact that it kept Poole off the base path, he's the guy who kind of sets the tone for them. And Stinnett just made 2 marvelous plays. Then when Cruz had doubled and Cabell moved him over, they had a runner at third where a fly ball is going to get him home and get them a run early. And Ed Ott's throw down, throwing there with that batter up there and really zipping it. I think it happened so fast. I think you picked it out perfectly. Cruz was so flustered by it, he tripped over his own feet.
Well, what caused it, I think, was the swing. He was going to go home. When he swung the bat, he probably moved slightly forward, got him a little off balance. And when he threw the ball, he had to get started again, and he couldn't quite get his rhythm. It was a game play that you like to see because it took you out of an inning. If they got a little momentum going, it could have turned it around possibly.
Well, this was a ball game, I tell you, that we talk about lifts and talk about games, but the fact that all those other teams around us now lost. We gain a game on the Phillies, we gain a game on the Cubs, we gain a game on the Expos, we put another game between us and the Cardinals, and boy, you just don't get those many nights when you can pick up that many chips. So what a game to go out and put in the win column.
Well, I like this ball club chances winning. They've got pitching, they've got power, they're beginning to get momentum. They're starting a little earlier. In the past, it's always been a little later. But tonight, they showed great ball club. It has all the things you need.
All right, the total board looks like this. The Buccos have done it, 5-11-0. Keeson all the way for the 2nd time. He's now 5-4. The big home runs from Parker and Stargell. For the losing Astros, 1-6-1. James Rodney, the loser, he now falls 2 below 500, 7-9. Tomorrow night, it'll be Blyleven against Joe Niekro. What a matchup that should be. And that winds up Pirate baseball for tonight. Be with us again on Saturday, July 14th at 7:30 from Atlanta when the Bucks meet the Atlanta Braves. Pirate Baseball has been brought to you in part by Daily Juice Products, sponsors of Daly's favorite Pirate contest. Be sure to vote in the Daly's favorite Pirate contest. And in part by the Yellow Pages. Remember to say something about your business in the Yellow Pages. Coverage of tonight's game produced by Doug Kennedy, directed by Brian Sipe. Production and technical facilities provided by TPC Pittsburgh. Studio director Brad Rich. So until we greet you next time, join us on radio tomorrow night. Want you to see if we can sweep this series. This is Milo Hamilton along with Lanny Fratelli and Harry the Hat Walker. We enjoyed having him with us. Saying goodbye from the Houston Astrodome in Houston, where the final score was the Pirates 5 and Houston 1. After station identification, stay tuned for Eyewitness News, which follows immediately. This is Pirate Baseball on TV 2.
Meet Westmont's Junior Miss winner on Thursday's Evening Magazine.
Eyewitness News at 11 with Ray Tannehill, Patty Burns, Eddie Alexander, and meteorologist Bob Cudson.
Good evening. Three big stories in tonight's news. A political power struggle is taking shape over tomorrow's threatened shutdown by independent gasoline station owners. Reporter Susan Burke is just back from Washington with the governor's position. A tragedy at an amusement park near the airport tonight. Patty will have that story in a few moments. But first, the story of a dramatic rescue of 5 Greene County miners. Reporter Pat Crosby was there when the men came out.
It was quitting time for the day's shift at J&L's Gateway Mine in Greene County, 5 miles north of Waynesburg. About 3 miles behind this mine shaft, a low rumble got louder. A roof collapsed, and 85 feet of roof slate, dirt, and boards crashed down between 5 miners and the rest of the crew.
Before we could get around that one corner, the intersection fell in. This dust started coming. We heard them yelling for us, and we yelled back. They couldn't hear us.
Quickly, the families of the 5 men were called as fellow workers and government mine officials secured air connections to the trapped workers. Besides relatives, most of the first shift stayed at the plant, relieved that voice contact was made with the men, but still worried one of their fellow miners might be hurt. About 3 hours later, the men emerged from the mine, immediately met their families, and were awfully glad to punch out for this day.
It's great to be out here. Guys are great helping us out.
Would you consider today's accident serious?
Well, it's potentially serious. Fortunately, it didn't turn out to be that way.
It'll be under investigation, obviously, as to what the causes were, but at the moment we can't speak to that.
Even some of the veteran miners said it was an accident that could happen any day under similarly ordinary circumstances. A clear reminder that the same miners who will come back here tomorrow take their lives into their job every day. I'm Pat Crosby, TV2 Eyewitness News in central Greene County.
A tragic accident at White Swan Amusement Park in Findlay Township near the airport today. 11-year-old Frederick Bowles of Ballou Drive on the north side was killed when he slid under the rear wheels of the park's miniature train.
According to witnesses, the child was riding in the middle portion of the train when several children jumped out of the train. The children ran around behind the train, which was traveling, according to park authorities, at about 5 miles per hour. There was an embankment right here along to my left. The children ran up, attempted to get back into the train, and at that point slid under the train, and that's how the accident occurred. I spoke with Mrs. Lou Parker, who was on the train at the time of the accident.
We felt the thud, and then the boy just quit. He couldn't help it, the young boy that was driving the train. And then we got the little children out of the vicinity not to see it. Oh, it was pathetic to see him. But that's all I can tell you about it, till we got our men to help to move the train off, and the boy was in bad shape, and finally paramedics did come.
11-year-old Frederick Bowles was pronounced dead on arrival at Ohio Valley Hospital. Park officials told me that the train will continue to operate, in that today's accident was not caused by any malfunction or negligence on the park's part. And we have 2 major developments. In tomorrow's threatened service station shutdown, the Federal Energy Department has issued an emergency rule which gives Governor Thornburg the power to shift gasoline supplies away from striking stations to stations that intend to keep pumping. Governor Thornburg will also have the power to direct stations that are open to stay open longer. Now, that move has so angered the leaders of the shutdown, they say they will now call off their planned meeting with White House officials. Representatives of the service station dealers had agreed to meet at the White House tomorrow morning in a last-ditch effort to avert the strike. But strike or no strike, lines today at local gas stations were not long, and area drivers do not seem to be too worried about not being able to get enough gas. Now, reporter Susan Burke has just returned from Washington, and she greeted Governor Thornburg as he was returning from the Camp David summit. Susan, what was the governor's response to his new powers?
Well, Patty, the governor was angry. He said this move is a cop-out and is just throwing the Department of Energy's responsibility back into the lap of the state. Now, I waited in Washington for the 3 hours that the governor was at Camp David, and as soon as he was off the helicopter, he seemed ready for my questions.
Governor, will there be a shutdown?
I don't know.
You think you resolved it?
I don't think that there will be a shutdown if the administration is able to send a signal to the independents and to Pennsylvania and to the entire Northeast that they are determined to see that a fair system of allocation of fuel resources is substituted for one that is clearly unfair now.
Did you talked to the president, you told him it was unfair. What did he have to say about that?
He didn't respond directly, but he was soliciting views on actions he might take to bolster the confidence of the people in his administration. And I suggested that might be one of those things.
Okay, the independent gas station dealers say they will close down on Friday if they aren't listened to. It doesn't appear as though they're listening from what you've said.
Well, I tried to bring the message here today. Whether or not action results is, we'll have to see.
Patty, the governor assured me that he was going to be working through the night, trying to reach the dealers to try and avert tomorrow night's strike.
I guess we won't know until closing time.
Yeah.
In other news, did the governor say anything about Camp David as to what's going on there?
Well, he said the president is listening, he's friendly, he's soliciting advice, but there are no answers.
Not yet.
Not
All
yet.
right. Thanks, Susan. Ray?
Patty, Governor Thornburg was only one of several leaders who are still trickling in and out of Camp David, Maryland, as President Carter continues to hammer out a national economic energy program. Still no firm commitment yet on when the president is going to emerge from the mountain retreat, but some sources are speculating he will deliver his message to the nation perhaps Sunday evening. One of the stories that has emerged from those long Camp David meetings is that the president will shake up his staff. It's being reported tonight that Gerald Rafshoon, the media advisor to the president, will resign from the White House staff to run Mr. Carter's presidential campaign. Speculation is also continuing tonight about the imminent resignation of Energy Secretary James Schlesinger. Today, reporters put the tough question to the secretary.
How is your security right now?
Oh, that's I think that the question of security ultimately always depends upon the president whom I serve.
One presidential aide said of Schlesinger's situation, if he's going to get canned, he doesn't know it. Well, residents out in Oakland must have thought they were going to see a repeat of May 9th of this year when several manhole covers blew off, injuring 3 people. Fortunately, tonight, only one manhole was involved. It was located at the corner of Forbes and Bigelow, and the end result was not nearly so serious.
Chief, I notice about an 8-inch gash in this electrical circuit here. I presume it's a Duquesne light circuit. Is that what caused this manhole cover to become dislodged?
True. With the eruption of the circuit line there, filled with oil, which caused the smoke to accumulate.
This is the second time this has happened now in the past couple of months. However, we're only standing here by one manhole cover. The last time several blew. Is this the only one that you're having problems with at this hour?
This evening, yes. In May, we had the substation fire, and then other manholes in front of the museum erupted, and also down in Soho.
How wide an area has this affected electrical service, Chief?
About 2 miles, and also in Shady Side, they tell me, through police knowledge.
Anybody injured here, Chief?
No injuries, and I hope we don't have any more manholes as in May, which we had quite a few.
The problem is in a 23,000-volt feeder line. The cause unknown, but crews from Duquesne Light had all power restored by 7:30 this evening. Patty?
Pittsburgh had a shakeup of its own tonight as irate consumers gave the Public Utility Commission an earful downtown. The PUC held a hearing on Duquesne Light's proposed $58 million rate hike. Members of the Pennsylvania Alliance for Jobs and Energy attended the hearing and showed their displeasure with the idea. A group spokesman said the increase is much too high and does not consider Duquesne Light's continued unnecessary expansion. The group says it wants the PUC to refuse the rate increase altogether. These Allegheny County workers, members of Local 585, voted today on their contract offer and passed it. But we are still awaiting word on whether or not the members of Local 1058 have okayed the offer. Those workers are voting on the same contract tonight. Now, how that vote goes will affect the status of the county strike. If the combined vote of the two unions is to ratify, it should end the labor problems at Kane Hospital. But if one union okays the offer and the other one doesn't, some union members may stay out on strike. There's much more to come on Eyewitness News this evening, including more disturbing news about typhoid fever here in our area.
But first, more fallout from the fallen Skylab.
Just for kicks. Is my mother out in the audience somewhere? I'm sure she's got something to do with this. Just take half of it off, and we'll see how then we'll compare sides. You don't know what they're paying me to do this. Wait, put that on. I never used one of these things. What am I doing? What are you guys? Yeah, what are you? No, it's a clipper. It's a clipper like in a barber. Get it all over. Just the half. Just this half. Just this half. God, what am I doing? What am I doing? Careful, don't touch it.
Look at you. Look at your face. You're going like this.
I'm doing this. I'm doing this like I'm shaving.
You are.
You know what you ought to do? Take off half the hair, too. Let's see how you big ball. Huh? No. Get out of here. I can only see the beard. Are you a Gemini? You got an extra raise in there? Yeah, here. What a mess. Oh, you clogged my razor's clogged. This won't run at all. Half. Let's see, half. This won't run at all now. Get the other side of the mustache. Oh, you leave the mustache, right? Yeah, I'm leaving the mustache on. Yeah. Let's see the half. No, just half. No, the mustache has to go too, Sal. Go get your heads examined. Yeah. Just half the mustache. Yeah. Come on, be a sport.
Leave the mustache.
Wait, let me fix the side for you. Wait a minute. You look like a reformed rabbi. We'll do the mustache.
You feel just this.
Wait a minute. My mother must be paying a lot of people for this. Yeah.
Close-up on his face. He's going like this. Michael's going like this. Get a close-up on his face. Look at what he's doing.
Now we've got the perfect. Night at the opera. Watch this. Now look. Now, do you like this side? Tell me, applaud. Or do you like this side? Now, wait a minute. Put this back on. The people.
For the first time in Pittsburgh, see the original Broadway star Richard Kiley in the all-awards-winning musical, Man of La Mancha.
I just hope my mascara holds out.
I think it was one of the most moving experiences I've ever had. Left me weak and weepy. I loved it.
See Richard Kiley in Man of La Mancha. Seats now at the Stanley Theater starting September 5th for a limited time only. See Man of La Mancha now. It may be your last chance.
Dad and his future medalists can get a head start on savings this week with Trax Nylon Joggers from Kmart. Quality Trax joggers feature suede trim, side stripes, and a durable rubber outer sole. The tongue and collar are padded for comfort, and the sponge cushion insole and arch support make running almost as easy as walking. Both men's and boys' Trax joggers are sale priced at just $8 a pair through Saturday.
Trax. We're building a great name exclusively at Kmart.
We put the Hearts 2-in-1 Plus collar on our pet one spring day, and that same long-lasting collar still kills ticks and fleas today. All summer long it keeps them free. Protect your dog, your cat, your family. Get the long-lasting collar that kills both ticks and fleas. Put the Plus on your pet, the Hearts 2-in-1 Plus. Put the Plus on your pet, the Hearts 2-in-1 Plus.
Valerie has to leave us. She has a date to see. Well, I'll be honest, to see a screening of a new movie. Okay.
Well, I really want to apologize because I don't like doing this. And
I know,
what I did is I wrote one date down in my address book on the wrong day.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay, we
sorry.
believe you. We believe you.
It's true.
And we understand.
I'll show you my book.
No, we understand. Well, come to think of it, we'd love to see your book. Valerie Perrine, thank you. I met our next guest on location of his show, 80s and Up. And all of the cast and I had a picnic on the front lawn of the family homestead. And we had such a great time. The youngest member of the 80s and Up family is our guest today. Here's 10-year-old Adam Rich. Welcome. Well, those are different skates. I've never seen skates with sneakers on them.
They're really new. Everybody likes them. They're selling like crazy.
What's that? What's that?
Well, that
See,
is
I asked the same thing when Cher had skates on. I have never seen these. What are those for?
They're for stopping.
What about all the fun of falling down, scraping a knee, getting a scab, pulling the scab off, scaring your mother with it? I mean, those days are over, huh?
Yeah. See, now they have the professional stopping, and you have to stop. It's really hard. I don't stop like that. I just turn like...
Yeah, sure. Like what? What do? You just turn?
Cut an edge.
Remember when I was coming here, I just went like that because it's so slippery to stop me.
Yeah. You're really growing up, son. Since the last time I saw you, you were a little guy. When last time I saw you.
Real little.
Yeah. you still like what you do? Do you like your show and everything?
Yeah, I love it. It's really fun.
Do you watch yourself on television?
Sometimes. I don't like the shirt now. Yeah, I watch it sometimes. Because you know what's going to happen. Like when there's something like they're going to move out, you know they're going to have to move back in. Don't say anything.
That's called predictability.
Yeah.
But you don't watch it you don't watch all the shows, right?
No.
Do you get nervous at all when you watch yourself?
No. I barely see any of the shows, so what's to get nervous about? You know, you're sitting there doing it for a job.
That's true. We professionals never get nervous. Are you nervous when you're on my show?
No.
Do you ever watch my show, Adam?
Yeah, I've seen it. The last one I saw was the one with the orangutans on it.
Did you like that?
That was a good show. I just went out and saw the movie.
Oh, the one with Clint Eastwood, yes.
And what are they called again? I just had the name.
Something about Every Way But Loose, I think. Is that it?
Every Which Way But Loose.
Every Which Way But Loose.
Yeah.
I was close.
With the orangutan.
Yeah. Have you met many movie stars, the big movie stars like the one we're talking about, Clint Eastwood?
I never met him, but I met a lot of big movie stars. I'd like to meet them.
Who have you met? What movie stars have you met?
I met John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John.
That's pretty good for starters.
Yeah.
Who else?
You name them.